maybe the peak of American culture right there. Chai Lights, Oh Girl, and a cover of that is in the new Spike Lee movie, Chirac. Spike Lee popping in here in just a little bit. This is the Bennington Show. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
There's Stan, the man, Stanley Stan Bennington.
Sups.
And, of course, Joey Joe Bennington. Are you out of the doghouse yet, Joey?
I'm hoping, yes. I've been trying to get it when I'm back.
Not out of my doghouse.
Oh.
What management style is this, Chris? I'm going to just stay gruff on the other side of the room, or I'm going to use this as a teaching moment?
I've been teaching him, and I'm hoping the lesson just fucking drills into his head.
So why is he still in the doghouse then? What is the purpose of that?
I guess I'm just being a dick.
Okay, so that's a strange management style, isn't it?
It's a weird one, yeah.
That's an unmanagement style. Gail, where are you in this situation? Joey came in to work on time and has been in trouble for 2 days.
I feel like, perhaps it was a risky move, the decision he made. I think he learned his lesson. He had to hustle to get here. He had to take a train. It's not easy.
Yeah, I had to hustle to get here today, too, because I had to make it through the tree lighting crowd. So I got here later, but no one came in and said, oh, you're in trouble. You just got here. Doesn't make sense, is what I'm trying to point out.
I know, we accept you.
But here's the deal. Spike Lee's coming in here, okay?
I know.
At some point, I want us to be able to go, oh, shit! Because that's always my favorite stuff in a Spike movie, where suddenly it's almost like a musical where everybody's doing the same shit together. Right. There's some choreography. His movies are, some people call them uneven because they don't stay with any one style, but there's some choreography and just weird scenes in this movie I couldn't believe. This is the story of Chirac. The fact that in the south side of Chicago, we have more killings than we did American soldiers in Afghanistan and Iran or Iraq. And basically, just like any shootings we have in this country, no one really gives a shit.
Right.
There's no way to stop it. Certainly no way that we all agree on. I always thought, why not roll the troops in? I don't think Spike would be a big fucking fan of that, but we did it in Baghdad. You roll the troops in, you just go, all right, we're going to shut this shit down for 6 months, a year, whatever it is. Take care of the people there. But obviously, a lot of American people don't like the idea of American troops in the streets, but we do it if there's a hurricane. We do it if there's we're set up to do it. But people have been able to comfortably live with the fact that this goes on in America.
It's strange, the things that we decide are an emergency situation compared to other things that are just as bad, if not worse, and we don't give any attention to. Well, and you could say that from shooting to shooting, like for some reason you'll focus on this one act of police brutality, but then this other act goes unnoticed, and it's very strange, the things that everybody gets riled up about and the things that people...
Or how long they stay riled up about. If there's a school shooting, there's all the networks fly there and we watch for 3 days and there's some candles and stuff and everybody goes back and, and then there's another school shooting and they'll get on TV. This is a wake-up call for America. I'm like, how many fucking wake-up calls I've lived through? It's not a wake-up call. This is just something we do after a school shooting. That's all.
Yeah, and it doesn't faze anyone anymore. The Planned Parenthood shooting that happened over the weekend, no one's walking around going, there was a terrorist attack. No one's saying that. I don't know why we don't call it that, but why do we call one thing a terrorist attack and another?
It's got to be ISIS. That's the ones that we really hate. ISIS are fucking terrible. Right. Our terrorists are, our terrorists. They're just crazy people. ISIS, I guess we're not supposed to believe are crazy people. There's people that believe in some ancient fucking book and virgins after you die. I'll tell you this. Chirac is one thing, but how come no one ever brings up Philadelphia?
I know. They never get the respect they deserve.
Or Bodymore. That's my favorite, Bodymore, a.k.a. Baltimore.
I think that's a stretch. If I'm going to be, Philadelphia works perfectly. Chirac is really a stretch.
What about New York Shooty?
No, that's...
Oh, not good?
No.
I'm just trying to get in on it.
I know you are. But it should be, I don't know, maybe we could go Beast New York for East New York. I don't know what. LA seems to be somewhat quieted down. That used to be
like Watts was like the worst place in the world for a while.
Well, that was 1960s, dude.
I thought it was where the more riots, like in the 90s.
Compton.
Oh, that's Compton. That's what I'm thinking of.
I thought it was more riots. I thought it was more riots. Do me a favor.
Yeah.
Spike gets here. You know what to do, right? Hide on the fucking floor with that fucking white shadow salami thing wrapped around your head. You know what? There's a fucking thin line between ironic and acceptance, and you're moving. And I remember when we used to fucking do Long December as ironic, but I saw everybody singing the shit out of it yesterday, and Joey Jojo playing air drums.
Love the air drums,
dude. Why are you wearing a Reebok thing? Isn't Spike Nike?
Take that off.
I gotta take it off.
Take it off right now.
You'll turn this into fucking Chirac Jr.
I just got a deal with Reebok 2 days ago.
By the way, can we agree that some fucking songs aren't air drum? And when I see Joey Jojo air drum into James Taylor,
I'm like, air drum.
What are you doing?
He's always ready for air drums.
It doesn't work, Joe.
If there's percussion, he's air drumming.
Here's Joe Pack Joe, who's always a voice of fucking wisdom, says, I consider Pepper's ability to let beefs with people go the thing that can separate him from Fez. But you better let it go, Pep. It is true. You get in a weird thing, and you get into long silences instead of working shit out. You're not management material. I need someone to step up.
Well, I have a gentle hand.
Right.
I'm tough, but fair.
I don't know if you're tough, though, are you?
Joe, how tough am I?
She's super tough.
Tough but fair.
I mean, I haven't seen it yet.
First of all, let me say this. I see you coddle that Cashmere like he was a Christmas puppy. I don't see the tough. I think Cashmere could come in here, shit on the carpet, and you'd be like, who's the bad boy?
He's so bad. He's so bad. He just mimicked how nightlife your pigtails.
What do you think? Well, yeah, are you making fun of her pigtails?
No,
I love them, and I
mimed. I'm
just seeing the sweater now too.
What, do you do anything besides visual? This is a fucking radio show.
No one can see Gail.
And you pay attention to each small style thing.
And stop shitting on the goddamn floor. For real.
Chris,
yeah.
He's a
There's
good
no
boy,
doubt
though.
you are out of the management business. Your ability to teach and move on, it just doesn't exist. You haven't even stopped Joey from air drumming on songs that, quite frankly, are not air drummable.
Yeah, we have an air drum meeting after the show.
By the way, here's Chris Stanley as a producer. If we're doing any kind of commercials or whatever, like, yeah, it's great. Don't worry about it. It's good. If we're supposed to do a 30-second commercial and it comes in at 34, that is good. It's good. I'll be able to. I'll just take out a chunk of the middle. I'll take out the sponsor's name. Everything is good. When you say that everything is good, and by the way, he does this with food, so there's no reason to take Chris Stanley to a nice restaurant because he treats it the same way as the corner cart. It's good. It's good. It's good. Everything is good to him.
I enjoy life, you know?
You enjoy, but you have no taste whatsoever. And when I'm saying taste, I don't even mean in the way that we're talking about style by Ron Cashmere. I mean, your taste buds are burnt out. And you don't,
buds?
You don't know if you're you're eating fucking chewing tobacco or steak. It doesn't make any difference to you.
Is this tobacco rare?
By the way, I just did the exact opposite of what you do in a joke. Chewing tobacco is the fucking kicker, not steak. This is how crazy you made me. I forgot how to put together a joke on the fly.
Or perhaps steak.
You know, this motherfucker doesn't know the difference between the punchline and the gentle setup. See, that's the fucking thing. That's why, I tell Anthony, I don't carry a gun because I would turn it and point it at my own head while I was doing my show.
Don't. Point it at me instead. Don't point it at yourself.
Please isolate that so I can play it for a jury one day. Now, Mr. Stanley, and I'm asking you this while you're still alive.
Yes.
Did you mean point and shoot?
I mean, if you have to shoot, go for it.
Thank you. You got that, Joe?
Got it.
Make 18 copies. Now, make 12 copies, one for each juror.
Take this home. I made enough for everyone.
Put this on your iPod.
Mr. Bennington, that's not how evidence works.
Oh, and iPods really don't exist anymore. I'm the last one to carry one. I was the last one to get one and the last one to still love them.
I kind of miss the iPod, the separation between phone and music.
Yeah. So that, because I'm listening to some tunes, doesn't mean that I'm eating up all the battery on my phone.
Yeah.
What the fuck was I hearing about last night? I don't know where it must have been on the TMZ. So they were saying that Apple said that they're working out this thing that as you walk into a place like Starbucks, they'll have something. So your phone will be charging through the air in the Starbucks, right?
Yeah.
They're working on this.
Yeah. It's called wireless charging. And eventually they want to make this so that it's everywhere. So whenever you're walking around.
Okay. But what happens to my brain?
Yeah.
Why we're wireless charging? And again, even though I have zero fucking skills in this, how can something like that possibly work?
I have no idea, but energy flying through the air at all times, it feels like it'll fry your brain, right?
Of course it does. It's
give you radiation poisoning.
I remember when people were afraid to live under fucking towers. You know, the people that lived under those fucking towers said that their kids all had fucking big brains or something. Their brains started to bubble up.
Now, if you want to get a cup of coffee, you risk being just shot up with phone juice.
And
you can't decide.
Well,
me, I would not like to be.
Okay, I got the idea. We get in the lead helmet business now. My neck hurts because I don't want my phone charged. I think that was one of Gilbert's children who said that line.
Everyone's just walking around with really heavy heads. It's exhausting.
I come to you today with a heavy head. Hard Rock Johnny is on the hotline.
Bennington's.
What's up, Johnny?
Yeah.
Can I shed a little light on management styles based on some interactions that I may have witnessed a couple weeks ago?
Okay.
I would say Gail has a stronger hand than she may lead on.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, and I think Pepper may be a little more inept than he leads on.
Really?
More inept?
How? How is that possible?
How could it literally be possible?
Look at me. I have a fucking scope, bro.
Yeah. But here's the thing with you, Chris. For a manager, right?
Yeah.
You never write a single thing down. And then when I asked you about stuff, this is your thing. Oh, fuck, I'm doing it right now.
I try to depend on the memory and the cloud.
What did you see, Johnny? What took place?
Well, I mean, there was a lot going on backstage with Chris was really confused at who should be in what dressing room. He made me make up these signs that were all wrong.
Bullshit.
Let Johnny have his speak, and then you'll be able to come back. So what was he doing? What was he doing?
He wanted to keep the comedians and the open micers together, which made no sense. Gail said they should be in separate rooms.
Yes, we didn't want the fact that our mentors would start to meet and see the young comedians as being people.
Exactly.
You know, just in the same way as like you don't want to pet cow before. Now watch me butcher it, make it into tasty steaks.
Exactly.
I mean, that was a big one right there because it would have ruined the bits. And Gail said, absolutely not, Chris. We need them in separate rooms.
So true. That was what I was saying.
But by the way, that wasn't even like Gail making that up. We knew that from the beginning. So that's Gail following through for what the initial plan was and Stanley not paying attention to the initial plan.
And then Gail took over all of the bannering. And, there was an entire team of like 15 people, including Zito, trying to put up 3 banners. It was kind of fun, and they couldn't figure out how to make it the right height. And Gail just stepped in and said, no, this is what you need to do. She arranged everything. It was little things that were really important for the event.
Was this why Chris was trying to masturbate on the turkey, or what was he doing?
He was actually in the kitchen trying to fuck the turkey. It was so weird. I had to get him out of the kitchen.
It's a pretty big turkey, guys.
All right, so you didn't know what you were doing at the fucking gig, from what I understand.
Apparently, I thought that, the open micers and the comedians, the mentors, would like to get to know each other beforehand.
But why? well, you know that we would sit around, and our biggest concern was somebody like Joe List would start and feel sorry for him. We bond after the roast part of this, not before.
That was my mistake. I was thinking they should bond beforehand.
Why?
So they get to know each other more, so they maybe get more jabs in, or more, they'd be able to be more comfortable talking to each other on stage.
God. We went over it so many fucking times. That literally was our number one rule of what could make the chemistry of this thing work.
I also want to say, I did make a schedule, and better even than the schedule, making a schedule, the real management is delegating. And I said, here's the schedule. And I put the trust in Joey Jojo to be the schedule boy, and everything worked like clockwork.
That is the truth. That is the thing. Instead of staying around screaming at the workers, it's the person who trains and then has faith in the workers. And then when the work isn't done correctly, that you come over and you have a teachable moment. Not, okay, now you're in my doghouse for days while I fucking am just pissed about it.
And Gail, that wasn't the only time you delegated. I witnessed it after, on the break. You said, you didn't have the proper information about the comedians, and you needed something on some index cards, and you delegated that to another person, and it got done.
What's great about me is I missed every single one of these things.
I know.
As I was smoking.
That was part of my management style.
That's great. I'm loving that management style. Like, I'm just up on top of Times Square dancing around and smoking.
This is it, boys.
It's all happening now.
By the way, this morning I went up on the marquee where we were just to see what's going on, checking something out, and I noticed that the entirety of Times Square was closed with cop cars. I'm like, this is freaking me out. Like, they weren't letting cars down 7th Avenue. No one could go up 43rd. No one could go down up 44th. No one could go down 42nd was stopped. I'm like, I'm getting a little nervous. And then all of a sudden, the vice president drove by. I was like, whoa, that was kind of cool. It was now the second time I've had the vice president drive by while I was outside.
Wait, are you saying Joe Biden was actually behind the wheel and driving?
Well, no, he was in the back seat of the car.
Arm out the window.
He was a regular Joe.
Everybody, how's it going?
And here's the thing about Biden. He always thinks he's making great time. Like, this is so great. I came all the way here from Claymont, Delaware, and it only took me an hour and a half.
No traffic.
No traffic at all. We ought to just go down the shore from here. We can go to Ocean City or Rehoboth.
You been down to the water?
You know what? I got a houseboat down there. I don't go anywhere near. I'm not ever going over to Ocean City again. I got my ass cut down there.
Great stores down there, too.
Great stores. Too bad about Hillary. I'd probably be running for president right now. The color guy at work told me I'd be perfect at being president after him. He's taking early retirement. He's got a pension all set up. I mean, he's great. Last year for Christmas, he got me work boots. When I was a kid, everybody measured how good their job was, that if you got free work boots or had to pay for them.
That is a good job.
That's a great place over there to give everybody work boots. And they all know that on a DUI, you can still drive a forklift. It's private property. I can drive anywhere I want. Just as soon as I leave here, I got to get a ride. All right, Johnny. Thanks for coming to Chris's defense today.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah.
Good work, Johnny.
Thanks.
Tough but fair.
Yeah. What about this, Chris? You keep your position as executive producer, but you have an executive manager who lets you know what to do. And this way you don't have to know what Joey or the interns or whoever New Dan is going to be do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. I don't feel comfortable, though, not knowing what they're doing.
You're lone wolf, right?
At times, yes.
But you're the lone wolf. Like, the best things that you do with your scopes is when you're by yourself. When you're with whatever your stupid friends, they stink. That abomination that you did to a world-class comedian stunk. You with guys that you're getting high with kind of stinks.
Fortunately, plays it.
Yeah, but you wandering around in the streets, wounded, coughing, spitting, smoking, drinking, jacking. Those things are pretty gold.
Yeah.
Those are my favorites.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
You know, a little later on in the day, I think we're going to get to the Scope roll call when we'll take a look on the site. The iBang has pictures of Chris's fucking put together Revolutionary Army. Now, this Saturday is GPS, our music show. We really recorded it all yesterday because we were so busy. And the music is so fucking good that most of the time we forgot what we were doing. It's San Francisco.
Yeah, it was so fun to do that show. And there's so many good songs in it. So many good songs left on the cutting room floor.
Yeah, we could not. I don't know whether audio was on the cutting room floor. I don't know where it would go.
I'm not sure the terminology you guys use in radio.
Well, I know one thing. There's not actually physical film, so there's not really even a cutting room floor. But yeah, we did not get to tons of bands that we wanted to for two reasons. Number one, San Francisco, they jam a little more than other people. And some of the jam bands, we had to find tracks where they didn't jam so much because we only have an hour.
Yes.
But the music itself, San Francisco almost embarrasses every other city. I mean, it's amazing, the music. And by the way, we were playing music. I'm not 100% sure of this. I'm going to say most of it was in a 4 or 5 year period. Everything that we pulled.
Yeah.
And there's a lifetime worth of music that took place in that 4 or 5 years in San Francisco. So that's GPS this Saturday. What time?
3 p.m. on Deep Tracks, Channel 27. That's 3 p.m. in the East.
You know, I'm a big Deep Tracks fan anyway.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of my, when I'm cruising, I put on Deep Tracks. You look at that San Francisco music, though. It's just stunning. Now, Gail, you're going to announce even some prizes on Saturday and do your own scope.
I'm going to do a pre-show Periscope, pre-show GPS, and give away, or maybe we'll do the same way that we did last time.
Well, we'll do a hashtag contest.
Yeah.
But the prize, I think, is even going to be better.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
The prize is going to be, I'm going to say once in a lifetime.
Oh,
what?
Shit.
Yeah, once in a lifetime. And you will announce on Saturday. I think we'll do a hashtag Deep Tracks.
Okay, cool.
Hashtag Deep Tracks this time. Because last time we went hashtag GPS, and just like, there's people who actually do GPS stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
They're fucking dopes. They're
Really
just
weird.
still
Really
thinking
strange.
about GPS all the time. And that never was our fucking, Don't give away the hashtag. I just did. It's hashtag Deep Tracks.
It's on now.
They have to tune in to Gail's Scope to get the hashtag. Okay. We'll do it then. We'll do hashtag Deep Tracks. Gail will give that away on Saturday.
So you better tune in.
Oh, it's going to be exciting.
So I can give that away.
It's going to be exciting. The prize is out of this world.
I'm so excited. And I'll announce the prize during the Periscope.
Yeah.
So definitely I will be giving that away.
Now, not only will you announce the prize, you'll show the prize. You know what? I'm going to give this away. You'll show the prize is.
Oh!
What?
And I'll just also say this. Birthday Christmas. Because that's what I tried to say as a little kid. This is a birthday Christmas. Laugh, everyone. Did you ever try to use words that would make the adults laugh, like spaghettis or something like that, would bring joy to people, even though you know how to correctly say it?
I feel like I might have done that because my brother was younger.
Yeah.
So maybe I was saying something that he said, and that would always get a laugh because he was at the age where he was still figuring out words.
And still is.
He's still learning.
I remember crushing at a big family reunion where someone's like, wow. And they were all gathered around this table, and they're like, you look just like your dad. And I'm like, but I don't have any whiskers. And just the room crushes. And I heard a cousin from California yell out, I wish I had my recorder. And I'm just like, huh? What? Cute.
I need something sweet.
Kids, they get a fucking laugh. You gotta milk it.
Oh, they love it.
Well, I didn't know that Hard Rock Johnny called in. What a piece of shit that Chris is. My problem is this.
Yeah.
I love him. That's my problem.
I know. That's your weakness.
No, that's not a problem. It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
You have a big heart.
I'm not a piece of shit. Maybe I'm reckless and weird, but I wouldn't say I'm a piece of shit.
All right. Delco Trash just wrote to me. Just in case you ever forgot where you came from, my buddy just called me up over the holiday to proudly tell me he got hired by Land O'Lakes Butter. He had to pass some safety tests, but before he could start, he said they won't fire him even if he doesn't pass because they already bought his work boots. He also can't drive a car due to seizures, but he sure can drive a forklift.
Oh my God.
I remember I was working for this one company and my uncle, and I got these steel tip work boots. I'm going to tell you the truth. They were pretty nice. And my uncle was saying to me, man, you are in. He goes, you're a fucking lifer. They're never going to, they gave you these fucking steel tip work boots. You never have a thing to worry about. And my stomach was actually cramping of thinking of working at this place for decades. I was just almost in a fucking inside panic, like, how do I escape? How do I get the fuck out of here?
These steel tip boots are weighing me down.
You gotta understand, I'm lazy enough for radio. I couldn't possibly work an actual job. I was only really good at coffee breaks. Then I could keep things going.
Oh, yeah. Crushing a coffee break.
All right, Junksbox Jim tweets to us, hashtag Gail for executive producer, hashtag Bennington.
Interesting.
Well, here's the thing. Chris is definitely the executive producer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But he needs a manager to manage him. That's what he needs.
That is what you need.
And to manage the others so that Chris could be his lone wolf self.
I still don't feel comfortable not knowing what everyone else is doing. When the manager tells me...
You'll be told what people are doing.
Oh, yeah. I'll let you know.
Well, what you won't be doing is trusted in any possible way.
I want to be trusted. That's a problem.
Everyone's going to come to you for the executive decisions on things.
Oh, really?
Sure.
That kind of makes me feel good.
Kind of lets me know that you're a really intelligent guy. Like Einstein was like, I kind of think I got the theory of relativity, kind of.
At one point, he must have said that before he really locked it in.
You think? All right. Now, by the way, Andy from Cleveland writes, I did a safety vid for We're a National Guest this summer. Best part, free work boots, Timberland Pros. I watched a film over the weekend starring Mr. John Travolta. And it was called Criminal Activities. Look it up, Chris. Criminal Activities. And it's kind of a Tarantino type movie. There's also, a gangster swerve, blah, blah, blah. And in this movie was Andy from Cleveland. And I'm going to tell you this, and it pains me to say this. He was fucking incredible.
Oh, it's awesome.
I bought into the character rather than feeling like it was Andy from Cleveland. I did it on demand. So afterwards, after I watched the film, I went back to his scene and I'm literally watching it going, holy fuck. He's a really good fucking actor. He plays, now you've met Andy, right?
I have, yeah, for the first time.
Kid, nice guy, sensitive guy. He plays a fucking criminal in this, a torturous criminal, and he's incredibly believable.
That is so awesome. That is so cool.
It was actually one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
Andy's killing it.
He was incredible in this. He was great.
That is so exciting. I'm going to check this out. What's the name of it again, Chris?
Criminal Activities.
Criminal Activities.
Did you send Andy his Bennington shirt?
No, I didn't. I'll send it to him.
Oh, my God. Now, you know that he was there when the shirts ran out. He said, don't worry about me. You can mail me one.
Yes.
How would that be forgotten about?
I don't know because of my faulty memory.
I'll tell you what. Because no one can depend on their memory, Chris. We got to write this. put this down for your new executive, over the executive producer.
Mm-hmm.
Andy from Cleveland, Bennington shirt.
Got it. I'll put that right above my other note that I wrote, criminal activities.
And then under that, put fire Chris, or at least limit his abilities.
No, please don't.
And
I'll put that in either or
Put
situation.
more faith to Joe. Joe's probably a lot better at this than Chris. We were wrong. I think Chris was good.
Okay.
Len, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
This would be like in 1960, early 1969.
Yeah.
You forgot to give a shirt to Jack Nicholson. Months later, a little movie called Easy Rider comes out, and Jack Nicholson goes on a rampage of like 8 classic movies in a row. Speaking of classic movies in a row, I'm going to read you the beginning of Spike Lee's career.
Okay.
She's Gotta Have It, School Days, Do the Right Thing, Mo Better Blues, Jungle Fever, Malcolm X, Crooklyn, Clockers, Get on the Bus, He Got Game, Summer of Sam, Bamboozled, 25th Hour, Inside Man. These are fucking unbelievable movies.
So good, man. He's had an incredible career. What's your favorite?
Crooklyn. I love Crooklyn. Even though I can watch More Better Blues every day of the fucking year and love it just for the music. Do the Right Thing is as good as any movie ever did. School Days blew me away.
It's got to be between Crooklyn and She's Gotta Have It for me, because I love that movie.
Jungle Fever's fucking great too. And 25th Hour is unbelievable.
That's amazing.
All right, Ed Rooney says Gail needs to be that Centaur's jockey.
I always assumed that centaurs jockey themselves, but
You would think. Spider writes this. Congrats, Pepper, on being the first lame duck producer in radio history.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You know what? That's not actually even a bad title for you. Because it's like Obama is doing the lame duck thing, and that's fucking, cool.
Is it?
Yeah, because he's showing up in sweatpants in places. Like some people act like it's sad when you're lame duck. I think it's fucking fantastic. It's got a last week of school when you've already taken the exams.
Because he's just coasting at this point. He knows it's over.
This is why Carla Finch, who's always on something brilliant for us, said this is why Chris doesn't take notes. He gets carried away. And then she has a picture of a baby finger painting his whole body.
Seemed like a good idea at the time.
that is so you.
You have any finger paint left?
That's our Chris.
I don't know what Bobby Bagdell has written to us. Due to restrictions, is this something wrong with the way we're shipping the shirts? Oh, look into that, Chris.
I'll look into it. I will get to the bottom.
Oh my God, new ScoPro showed up with a bandana, oversized shades. It's fucking great.
See, on my giant head, oversized shades are just regular shades.
Just regular.
They fit me properly.
Sad, isn't it?
They actually look teeny on you. They're like those little Morpheus sunglasses.
You could be in a TV movie called Boy with the Plastic Bubble Head.
Stay away from my head.
Queen Elizabeth would like a Bennington shirt. Well, the Bennington shirts were primarily Don made up just enough for the people at that event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In limited supply.
I don't know why you just didn't make up a couple thousand. That would have been fucking cooler.
I
Right?
know.
Yeah.
Well, we could be using it for everything.
Why wouldn't we?
It's like mopping stuff up with
Sure. Fucking
using them instead of towels when we get out of the shower. It'd be
fucking
great.
jizz rag for Chris that he leaves hard in the corner.
What have you?
It's life of its own now.
Bill, Jersey.
Hey, buddy, how's it going, Ronnie B?
Good, man.
Hey, hands down, every time it comes on, I can't stop watching it. Best Spike Lee movie, Summer of Sam. I love that movie.
I love that movie except for one character fucks it up for me. The guy who, because he's punk rock, pretends that he's from fucking England and starts to talk that way.
Right.
What's his name? The fucking long-nosed actor that went for the piano?
Adrian Brody?
Yeah,
Brody, yeah.
Exactly.
Adrian Brody.
Yeah,
Well,
that character
you gotta look
fucks
at
it up.
I love it when what's his name from Cheers, Beth Newart's getting nailed in the hair salon.
So you basically like it for a Jack scene.
Unbelievable.
Hey, why not?
All right, buddy. Thanks.
Peace.
It's always funny when guys say, "Oh, this is a great movie," and they tell you an 8-second Jack scene.
This is why I like it.
This movie's so fucking great. All right, here comes Spike Lee. Chirac comes out this Friday, December 4th, in theaters everywhere. More information, Chirac, the movie. Like we said, he's one of the greatest of all time. Chirac comes out this Friday, December 4th.
Peace!
Spike Lee, one of America's greatest filmmakers.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
In studio with us. Chirac is the new film. Comes out Friday,
December 4th.
Yeah. And has already stirred up a lot of controversy like a good Spike Lee film should. Do you kind of enjoy it when you get people talking about all the different elements in your film?
I do, but there's some things that are distraction that keep people not focused on what they should be focused on. For one, the title of the film, which first came about when Mayor Rahm Emanuel, who's having his own problems right now, suggested I not use the title Chirac, and I told him I'd not even come up with that title. That title Chirac came up from local Chicago rappers, and he said that the title, this film would hurt economic development. He didn't say where.
Right.
And he also said it would hurt tourism. He didn't say where. There are no tours on the south side.
Well, when you're in the north side of Chicago, it's really a beautiful area.
Right.
All these little shops and everything. And as you're driving,
Magnificent Mile, where they had the thing on Friday,
where they shut it down, and it's one of the biggest shopping districts. But as you're driving through Chicago, as you find yourself going into the south side, you immediately U-turn and hit the gas. Nobody goes there. Even people in Chicago from the north side don't go to the south side Chicago.
Right. I mean, the only reason you go to the south side is if you wanted to go see the White Sox, but
right.
If you live on the north side, you're a Cubs fan.
Right, yeah, you're a Cubs fan, and you live that way. And it used to be great blues clubs and everything, south side Chicago.
Way back in the day.
Yeah, where it was,
totally neglected place. And like Samuel Jackson's character says in the movie, it's a tale of two cities.
Yeah, it really is.
It is.
And most cities are. Philadelphia,
right.
New York,
New York, I don't know. New York, it's not like Chicago it's not just me saying Chicago is America's biggest segregated city. I mean, Chicago, if you're on the north side, I mean, you don't go.
You don't think about it.
You don't even think. You don't even, I mean, and people on the south side don't go downtown. So it's like, I don't think New York's like that. But what we tried to say with this film, though, the stuff we see in Chicago is not just Chicago. I mean, people don't call Philadelphia for no reason, or Baltimore, Maryland, or Brooklyn is Bucktown. And so the big takeaway for me in this film is what we can do about guns in this country. 88 Americans die every day to gun violence in the United States of America. There's no reason for that.
Well, I think that the thing about guns is we're so divided on that. I mean, if there was anything that was going to stop gun violence,
Sandy Hook,
which
we addressed that in the film.
Yeah. And there's a couple, and I brought this up on the air. There's always a couple days of people going, "Oh, this is awful." But in the last year, a church shot up, a movie theater,
Charleston, South Carolina,
movie theater when Trainwreck was playing down south. Planned Parenthood was shot up just the other day.
Thanksgiving.
And Americans can put that out of their mind after a couple days.
It's pretty scary how easy it is, even within yourself. Like, you can look outward and say, why aren't people more upset about it?
Right.
But the really strange thing is when you start to flip through the news and then you're like, oh, yeah,
again,
that's happening.
It's human nature to become numb and desensitized. But I think that we really have to stand up. This is all because of the NRA, gun manufacturers. And this is the worst type of capitalism where money and profit is put over human life.
Well, let's look at the south side of Chicago. Do any of those murders take place with a legal gun? Because a lot of times it's being used by children shooting other children.
Well, I would say, look, I'm not an expert on this, but Chicago, the state of Illinois, have very, very tough gun laws. Mm-hmm. But the neighboring state is Illinois. Is Indiana.
Right.
And it's been documented many times, all the legal guns, majority of legal guns come from Indiana. Even here in New York City, we have very tight gun laws, but guns come from Pennsylvania, they come from Virginia, they come from the South. So this has to become a national agenda because your city can have tight gun laws, but that alone is not going to stop the flow of illegal guns to where you are.
We're talking about Chirac, comes out this Friday, December 4th. Now, here's the interesting thing. Even though this is a very heavy subject, there's so many funny scenes in this film. There's kind of a sex comedy farce that takes place. There's great satire. There's amazing music and choreography. So it's always interesting to me, Spike, that how you can enter something that you feel seriously about and then go off in these other different places.
Well, it's easy to do. I mean, it's not easy to do, but satire gives you a vehicle to do that. Where, I mean, the original source material was a satire. Lysistrata, the playwright, Aristophanes satirized then modern Greece all the time. And this is not the first film in cinema. It's been done. One of my favorite filmmakers is Stanley Kubrick, and his film Dr. Strangelove. What's more serious than about the destruction of this God's planet?
Yeah.
That film is hilarious.
It is funny as hell.
So it's hard to do, but you can balance serious subject matter with humor.
How did you come up with the idea to use Lysistrata this way?
My co-writer, his name is Kevin Wilmot, his idea. Let's try it.
You saw the play, Gail?
Yeah, I read it when I was younger.
Grade?
I was a junior in high school when I read it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So here, this kind of material has been around as long as human beings.
From way back.
Yeah.
411 BC.
And it's incredible because I think the thing that really struck me, especially at that age, is that you can't come up with anything. You know what I mean? Like they're about as bold as you could imagine.
Yeah.
And
why don't you tell the audience what the play's about?
It's about, so Lysistrata has this idea to stop the Peloponnesian War, I think it is. And she says, so in the way we're going to use our sexuality, we're going to tell the men of Athens that if you have to come up with an agreement with Sparta to stop the Peloponnesian War, and the way we're going to make you do this is we're going to deny you sex.
Lock it up.
Yeah.
Or as Spike would put it, no peace, no pussy.
Exactly.
and that actually kind of wakes the men up of
they woke
the community. But with the fact that, Athens and Sparta, those were places that were close neighborhoods to each other. These are city-states, and they were battling out. And even if you looked at like Compton's with the Bloods and Crips, you could kind of understand the power thing. But in Southside Chicago, it's almost block by block.
It's insane.
By block.
It's insane that the big groups have splintered into groups. So you have 3 blocks in a row with 3 different sects. And if you get caught in one of those blocks and they don't know you end up dead.
Right. So it isn't even a matter of, we're trying to control the drug flow or whatever, or gambling. It's just like you're on the wrong block, you're shot.
It has nothing to do with drugs.
Yeah.
Just you're on the wrong block.
Yeah.
And we don't know you.
So that has to be driven by fear. The people on one block feel like they're defending their block by...
Or that their block is nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like... It's a sense of hopelessness. That's what it comes down to. And that... have hope. There's a lot of these cats are okay if they only pass the year. They only pass 18 years old, and they're okay with it.
Yeah, they have no idea that you could more or less live past that age. You know, it's their reality. It's
their reality, and it's sad, and that mentality has to change. I think this film, if these young brothers see this film, it will have an effect, I think.
And most of the film is told in different types of poetry, of rhymes, verse.
Right.
Why do that?
We want to be respect the original source, which is written in verse, the play.
And also, when you look at it, it fits with the lyrics of rap music, which
and spoken word. So we felt that because of rap, because of spoken word, that it wouldn't be that hard for people to get it.
Some also tremendous people that you got to work in this film. Why don't you tell folks some of the stars?
Nick Cannon, Tiana Price, great newcomer, Wesley Snipes, Angela Bassett, General Hudson, Samuel Jackson, John Cusack.
It's crazy.
D.B. Sweeney. So we have a very the cast is amazing.
Some of these people you've worked with a lot in your career.
Samuel Jackson, Wesley, worked with Angela Bassett at one time. Everybody else is new.
So is that like shorthand for you, or is it
Well, I approach casting my films like I would if I was a general manager of a sports team. That you want to have that blend, and you want your old grizzled veterans and your youth.
Right.
You try to get that balance.
So it's always about chemistry.
That's all it's about. Yeah. You know, in front of, behind the camera. It's hard enough to make a movie, so why make it harder?
Yeah.
Why make it harder?
And you shot this in 6 weeks, surrounded by a local government that wasn't even happy that you were there.
Yes, but that may be true, but the police support us. They were there, you know, keeping everything in check.
Yeah.
But the sad thing is that we started filming June 1st and we finished July 9th. During that time, from the 1st of June to July 9th, 331 people were wounded and shot, 65 were murdered, and it escalated after that.
In the neighborhood of where you were shooting.
And then the south side.
Yeah.
South and west side of Chicago.
Now, if you look at something that big, in Baghdad we rolled in troops. Is this even a possibility that we go in and just try to...
What, with National Guard?
Yeah, National Guard, and hold the city for a while and calm it down and see how long, you know, give it a time limit. Does something happen that could stop?
Something has to be done. I don't know that. I mean, I've heard, read or talk about sending the National Guard, but I don't know how that would be, how that would work.
Yeah. Because you know, we're not just talking about young men shooting each other. Children get shot by mistake. Grandmothers on their way to get food. I mean, there's a lot of people who are basically in prison that have in this neighborhood.
But there's other approaches. Let's have better schools. Let's employ the youth. Let's give people a reason to live. So it's such a great problem. It's not going to be such a complex problem. It's not going to be one thing that's going to just fix this thing.
And that's generations by the time that happens.
And it's generational, too.
Yeah.
But they're still American citizens.
Right.
And we still care about everybody, no matter who you are. And also, I think this film demonstrates the widening gulf between the haves and have-nots, too.
Right. Well, I will say this, because we talk about troops, but if you look at New York City when they decide, oh, there's a terror threat, you know, there's police with automatic weapons in Times Square.
Right.
They're not going to let anybody fuck with the money. You know what I mean? They'll roll in. When the UN is in here, I get stopped sometimes walking to work, coming through, you know, the places where the UN people work. So we're willing to put that kind of security into places that they want. I agree that it's going to take generations to fix this, but the quick stop has to happen somewhere too.
Well, what's that quick stop going to be? So let me give an example. So, you know, we want to work with the community. And then the community sees the Laquan McDonald tape and they're like, wait a minute now. And what people don't really realize is that the release of that tape not only hurt the credibility of the Chicago police, but that hurt police credibility nationwide. That was a blow to all cops, even here in NYPD, because the community sees that and like, what's why are we still doing this stuff?
Right. Which always comes back that it's all fear-based. I think everybody gets a gun not to even feel more powerful because they're really afraid. And I think a lot of the things that plays to the NRA is when regular citizens see stuff on TV, they're like, this scares me. What can I have in my house? And that's why we have 300 million guns.
Yeah, can I ask a question though? Do you need a AK-47?
Yeah, I understand. I know, it's amazing.
Do you need it? Do you need a bazooka?
Yeah.
Do you need an ERAM missile?
Yeah.
Because somebody's trying to come into your house.
But that's true. I mean, it is true that it's hard not to make anything outlawed.
But here's the thing, though. I don't think that's a question of infringing upon American citizens' Second Amendment rights. There's still things that we could do. They're sensible. Why should we not have more stringent, harder background checks?
Right.
Why can't we, this is something Father Flake says all the time, why can't we title guns like cars? So there's things that we can do that then aren't going to affect your Second Amendment rights, and it can lower, I think those things we do, that stuff, 88 Americans won't be murdered every single day in this country.
Well, look at this guy who shot up the Planned Parenthood thing. He's basically frothing at the mouth crazy. He lived in a house with no electricity and running water, yet he could still get weapons.
Right.
Somehow this moron was able to get weapons.
And if you look at the amount of things that are difficult to do in this country, processes that you have to go through to apply to be a citizen, to get married, to get an abortion.
It's not like that to get a gun, though.
No.
Not at all.
It's hard to get a driver's license.
It's not easy. Yeah.
No, it's hard to get a driver's license than a gun.
But Spike, this film for you, when you sit and look at it, and you hope that discussion comes after it. And I know after that you guys marched after the...
Yeah, we had the premiere last night.
Yeah.
And for the first time, I did not have a party.
Is that right? Ever?
Since 86. Every time we had a premiere, we party. Not last night. Last night we had a march. We had a march down from the Ziegfeld Theater to Broadway. The march was led by Father Michael Flager, Reverend Al Sharp, and representatives from the everytown.org. And it was a march to end gun violence. And then yesterday was also the 60th anniversary of Rosa Parks not getting up from her seat in Montgomery. Was started Montgomery bus boycott. So it was really, really a great night. People loved the film. Majority of people on the Let It Rain marched. So it was a great night.
Chirac is Friday. The 4th opens in theaters everywhere. This is a film that you want to see with some friends and then have discussions afterwards. Yes. And
let's discuss the stuff, the issues in this film.
Yeah.
Intelligent discussions
because everybody needs a solution to this. And I'll end the same way I brought you in. Sincerely, one of the greatest American filmmakers.
Thank you very much.
Of all time. And
now with an honorary Oscar.
Now with an honorary Oscar in place of where the real one should have went. Spike Lee, great to see you.
I'm not complaining, though. It was great. It was still great to have Denzel Washington, Samuel Jackson, and Wesley Snipes present me that Oscar.
That's amazing, man.
It was great.
I'll see you next time coming through.
Please. You know what? I don't have to have a movie to come on, right?
Yeah, anytime you want to come in.
Thank you.
You're always welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're listening to Bennington on Raw Dog 99, Sirius XM's Comedy Club.
You come home at the end of the day, immediately take off your stiff work clothes, your work boots, provided that you have a good job, and then slip into some sweatpants. Sounds comfy, right? Well, if you're wearing a pair of MeUndies, you can feel that way all day long. MeUndies is the world's most comfortable underwear because every part of MeUndies is made from modal, a fabric that's proven to be twice as soft as cotton. I have pairs of these. And when I put them on, I now know what it's like when ladies will wear something sexy that changes their life, right? Why I sit around and work a job like this, I mean, I have MeUndies on, and I'm just feeling comfortable like I'm hanging out in sweatpants. It's a fantastic feeling. MeUndies, twice as soft as cotton, and with MeUndies, you never have to sacrifice style for comfort. Let me just say this. These things are so stylish that the ladies say, growl.
Sexy.
Yeah. There's a lot of growling going on.
Wow.
Love growling.
They've got tons of cheeky styles and release a signature design every month. So every month you're getting a new signatures design. MeUndies.com is the only place you can get matching pairs for men and women. Plus, paying for shipping just sucks. So MeUndies has removed that equation. All orders in the United States, and yes, my favorite country, Canada, ship free. Right now, MeUndies is offering you 20% off your first orders, but only at MeUndies.com/comedy. They guarantee it's the most comfortable underwear you've ever worn, or your first pair is free. So check it out, guys. This is a little Christmas present for yourself. Tell your chick that you want MeUndies. Grab a pair. Do what I did. Grab 10 at MeUndies.com/comedy. Once again, that's MeUndies.com/comedy. Welcome back to the Bennington Show. Spike Lee was just here. A favorite filmmaker of mine, a favorite filmmaker of yours.
That's true.
Quite frankly, Gail, you were raised on his films. And one of the favorite moments of my life, professional and personal, is when Spike Lee turned to Gail and said, "Why don't you explain that play that you saw in high school?" And Gail was immediately in the front of the class.
I know. I was like, I'm giving a report right now.
You nailed it, though.
So glad I remembered it was Peloponnesian.
That was great. But you looked at him with Peloponnesian.
You know, like we know.
Are you going to the mall later?
And I just said this. Some of the Greeks' favorite foods are olives, weird cheeses, and more black olives. That was really, really great, though. That was like one of those things where you're like, Spike is asking Gail to explain something.
I know. I feel like I should get a hold of my teacher. And
Spike doesn't like my role in the army and shut it down thing.
He didn't love it, but he wasn't totally against it.
I get his thing, but are we ever satisfied in something that's going to take generations and generations to fix? It just doesn't happen.
No.
People give up on it.
And even if that isn't the right it's the concept of it that is the idea that we would spend that same amount of money. We would give that much care. We would have troops anywhere else. So why not there? Why not Chicago? Why not Detroit? Why,
It's crazy because we, first of all, in this country, we don't like the popo. And I mean, across the, excuse me?
The Po9.
Across the board, if you're pulled over, you're not comfortable. It's not the police fault. It's the way we feel ourselves. So we get nervous. If we see police, we think, oh, danger, not safety, right? And that's something that police forces around the country work on a normal basis. So, and we're always afraid of the Army being here. Texas went crazy because the Army was doing stuff in Texas, and they were sure that it meant that the Army was going to attack and take over Texas and immediately take the guns. So paranoia runs all the way around this. We don't trust each other. I think people buy guns out of fear more than they buy guns out of a feeling of power. When I have no friends that have guns and want guns, they are generally fearful that someone's going to come into their home, and the gun, it's more of a deterrent of their own anxiety about it. I mean, the chances of someone coming into your home are fairly small. but the chances of anxiety coming up in your head are incredibly large. A gun makes that feel better.
That's, I think, what makes it exceptionally difficult to combat, how to figure it out, because fear is a concept. It's not something that there's a solution to, per se, just like...
Well, safety is a solution to fear.
Yeah, but you're talking about something that's like a mental state. It's not like if this, then this. For the same reason that Spike was talking about young men who don't seem to care whether they live or die, make it past 18. It's the same sort of concept that allows young men of any generation to run headfirst into war. You know, it's like an idea in the mind. That's, I think,
young men want to be tested. You're saying young men want to be tested against the ages, and there's certainly a percentage of that that's absolutely true.
And there's a detachment that allows them to do that.
But here's the deal. Thug life, for lack of a better term, also leads people who live far away to arm themselves. There's a fear of that thing coming to their home. It's a giant problem, one that isn't easily taken care of. I brought this up to him. So you basically have illegal guns in South Chicago. Illegal, right? And he said, well, Indiana, whatever. Someone is driving in. There's an arms dealer who's driving in and selling guns to children, 18 years old and younger. And he's collecting money, and he's able to drive out of Chicago. And to me, that would seem like the number one fucking problem of how these guys get in and out of Chicago that way.
Right.
Because this is a person who doesn't care that the bullets in that gun are not just going to kill the other gangs, but they're going to kill children and grandmothers and whatever these things we see on fucking TV. Okay. Now, he brought up the two Chicagos. The north side of Chicago is everybody's urban fantasy, right? I mean, that's the place that you walk. That's where Molly's Cupcakes is. You're walking down the street. There's a record store with vintage stuff. There's a vintage clothing place. There's great food places, you know, all along there. It's a very romantic place. You know, you go to Wrigleyville and the fucking whole neighborhood has bars surrounding a great old stadium. I mean, it's a really fun lifestyle. You can fall in love with it pretty quickly. And everyone in the Midwest, that's their Paris. They go to Chicago, right?
Right.
Because that's the one big urban center. The south side of Chicago, and I brought it up. I literally was in a car where we started fucking heading south, and I said, turn this motherfucker around. I'm not kidding, Mike. Turn this fucker around. I don't give a shit if you lost or not. I'd rather go back to the pier and figure out where we're going from there. I don't want to fucking start GPSing from here because I know it'll tell me a straight line, and I don't want a straight line. I want to go back to safety. And, you know, so the reality of it is when people are fucking afraid of that, there is a... you know, there is reason. Here's Danny in Chicago.
Ron, Gail, what a great interview, guys. And Ron, what a great depiction of what Chicago's like. I just wanted to call you guys and tell you that that was fabulous. That was just good stuff.
Now, you live in Chicago.
I do, Ron. I do live in Chicago.
Now, I imagine you don't live on the south side.
I actually own property on the south side that I rent, and I live on the north side.
So every night the news comes on and there's some horrific local story, and this has happened for a long time, right?
Absolutely. We're the highest murder rate per capita in the world.
It's unbelievable. And how do you get out? How does this stop?
You know what? I think that you spoke about this, and Spike talked about it. They have to make it more difficult for people to obtain firearm identification cards. They got to do extensive background checks. And remember, Ron, it's not the guns that the problem is. It's the dope trade. It's the dope trade.
Yeah, but the dope trade, that block-to-block stuff is, I can understand a dope trade. I can get that immediately. But you're on the wrong block, we're shooting it's fucking crazy.
Ron, can I just give you just a little insight?
Sure.
Let me ask you this. Let me just give you you got corners sometimes that are $150,000 a night corners. Okay, you're in charge of that corner, you and your guys. Well, if we had the next block over, we could double what we're making. I get it.
I'm going to tell you right now, with the level of money in the South Side, I'm shocked to hear that there's $150,000 a week. Because to that, you need to be selling.
Ronnie. Yeah. $150,000 a night, Ron.
And who is buying that? You're not getting any white people coming into town.
No, you get a lot of white people that cop their dope on the south and the west sides of Chicago. Those are a lot of your customers for, people that sell dope.
I find it hard to believe because even as a recovering drug addict, I can't imagine myself driving into that at fucking midnight. I'd be like, where else can I get drugs?
Ron, for dope, you're there's north side tips, but there's, you're going to the south side. Here, they make it really convenient. You can get off the expressway, get on the expressway, and you're in and out. Just kind of like, 137th in Amsterdam in New York. Same thing. Get off, get on, you're out of there.
It seems easy enough to shut that down quickly.
It's a battle because, as a kid, and I'm not justifying what's going on, but here's a kid who's, 16 years old and he's dropped out of school.
Yeah. What
am I going to do at McDonald's? Yeah. I mean, I could make, a kid could make $500, $600 a day to look out and whistle when the police come.
And I doubt very much that there's many people making $500 to $600 a day. I'm just not sure. And I appreciate your call, Danny. I'm just not sure as if I see this as the old school traditional drug trade thing. It really seems like it's much more territorial than that. And that normally when you have a big drug trade, there is a drug leader that everybody knows who they are. At one time there's documentaries that you can watch drug kingpins in different cities. This thing in Chicago just seems more like violence for violence sake than anything else.
More like Wild West style.
Yeah, man. It's just more like Escape from New York shit, just crazy shit. Bob in Jersey.
Hey, Ronnie B, how you doing?
Yeah.
Hey, I was just curious. If you look at the south side of Chicago, since the early 1920s, isn't that where all the gang violence took place with Al Capone and all that?
Yeah.
And then you had riots there in the 60s. So that area of the country's never really had a peaceful era.
Well, first of all, there's something incredibly different about Al Capone and then what's happening now. All you got to go back and look at the pictures and see that there was a lot of middle class and even livable lower class places in Chicago then. It is, it's a burnout mess right now. I mean, it's almost impossible to see how to rebuild this city. And you certainly can't rebuilding it until you stop the fucking bleeding. It's crazy. Here's Jim in Cleveland.
Hey, Ron.
Yeah.
Just going to start right there. It just seems like having a stable, safe place for people to live is a prerequisite for the kinds of stuff that Spike was talking about, the longer-term things, the educational opportunities and economic opportunities. If people are fearing for their lives and there's no willingness to go into that area for businesses and stuff because of fear of violence and that kind of thing, it just can't get off the ground.
You would be almost insane to invest in that area. So how do we rebuild? What would you do, Jim?
Boy, that's just, I mean, I think they got to stop being the wild, wild west. You got to, I think you would have to have some sort of presence there.
I think it's got to be block by block. Let me tell you this. When the Pope came into New York City, I walked from my house on the east side passed, and I'm not making up this number, anywhere between 700 and 1,000 cops, street cops on the street. There was a cop presence of 24 hours of cops patrolling up and down my block because the Pope was going to drive through. So what is that saying? That we consider the Pope's life to be much more valuable than the children's of Chicago. We're willing to do it for an important thing. Right. We just heard that they could shut down Times Square so that one man could drive through Times Square this morning. It can be done. It gets done. And nobody wants to live in a police state. The idea of that, at our very core, sounds very un-American. However, these guys work for you. So make them work for you. You know what I mean? You have to demand that if we're going to have guys who walk around and they're armed, right, then they better be on your side. No, I agree with you. Don't you think smarter people than us have brought this up to the mayor of Chicago, to the governor of Illinois, and to the president of the United States, who's from Chicago? What the fuck stops that thing from doing? Why can't we have a cop on every corner until this? And then the education starts. But before that, every fucking body has to fucking chill. Everybody. You've got to fucking chill. This is not a place where as a teenager, you are permitted to go out with a fucking gun. You can keep a gun out of a fucking nightclub. They'll fucking shake you down before you go into a nightclub. They shake you down before you go into the airport. Why isn't just the fucking streets of the south side of Chicago just as important? Now, I saw Spike was immediately against that, his education thing. I agree with his education thing. I also agree that it takes generations. But I'll also tell you this. I was born in a town called Chester, Pennsylvania. Chester makes, the world takes. That was a big thing. It was a town of industry. It was a town of blue-collar workers. That town has been a place of violence for decades and decades and decades. I was just fucking home over Thanksgiving, and people says, "Isn't it a shame about Chester?" I go, "You motherfuckers were saying that when I was 5 years old." Right. I heard when I was 5 years old, "Isn't it a shame what happened to Chester?" Nothing has fucking changed. They built a brand new prison there, which they put big fucking money into. Yeah. We'll put big money into prisons. They put a nice fucking casino there. And they put a soccer stadium. And that's weird things that we're willing to spend money on. But if we're going to fucking invest big money into prisons, why don't we invest big money into fucking not going to prison? I don't get it. I know one thing. Americans are not giving up their guns. Period. I've seen it. It's come up enough. It's a majority rule. I get it. I get that even gun laws don't stop illegal guns. I don't know where the fucking illegal gun's from. You know what I mean? Illegal guns aren't coming from Anthony. He's not fucking driving his guns into some fucking neighborhood selling them. So he's a legal gun owner. Who are the illegal guys? How are they getting guns that they can turn around and sell to fucking children? This shit can't be figured out. Here's my buddy Tom in Madison.
Hey, buddies. First of all, Ryan, 2 years ago when you brought up that it's a fucking national embarrassment, what goes on in these cities, I've been with you 100% since. It's a fucking disgrace. And Gail was on point with saying, we can spend the money. If this was ethnic violence in Bosnia, we'd be right on it.
And we do it.
But again, the private sale background checks, Spike brought up further background checks, and you talked about people bringing in guns. Exactly what happens. I've been to the shows. I've been a shooter my whole life. It's one of the reasons I won't join the NRA anymore, because when expanded background checks came up, particularly private sales, you come to my house and buy a gun. I mean, I have a supercomputer in my hand. I could check your DL out or whatever, see if you're felon, not sell you the gun. But even 80% of the NRA members wanted it. The NRA lobbied against that shit. I will never join them again. Ever. I've seen these guys going through the gun shows in Oshkosh and Fond du Lac and Milwaukee, buying off the private sale market. They take it right out to their fucking car, put it in the trunk, come back and buy another one. It's bullshit. And that's how that stuff happens. I'm a shooter, and this shit offends me, Ronnie. It offends me. I mean, it's a national embarrassment. I'm with you on it. I think they should roll in the guard and I mean, offer insane amounts of money for gun buybacks from people. House to house search for illegal weapons, whatever it takes. Of course, the constitutionalists would be all over it. But we're in dire straits here, and it ain't getting better.
Let me tell you this. The fucking Constitution isn't protecting the people of the south side of Chicago. Why not pick one fucking town? You fucking throw something in a map of one of these trouble places, and we're going to do something different here. We're going to fucking move some troops in and see what happens.
Yeah.
If it was white people would be going ape shit. If that was the north side.
There's no white people. We're not worried about running troops into the north side of Chicago. Right. They're fucking safe.
People would be going ape shit if that many white people on the north side were shot every weekend. They'd be going nuts.
I will tell you this. There are fucking military groups training in the subways of New York because they shot in fucking Paris, right?
Yeah.
We are more afraid of them shooting up Paris than we are of them shooting up fucking Chicago. If this motherfucker who shot up the Planned Parenthood thing had a fucking crazy Muslim fucking headdress, we'd all be freaking out right now and saying Obama let us down. Mike in New York, what's up?
Hey, Ron. I'm a criminal defense lawyer, so I can tell you from my experience, not only one thing, the previous caller talking about $100,000 a night is not that far off. I've had trials with guys making tens of thousands of dollars per guy, per crew back in the 90s. But I also agree with you overall that it's really more about turf war than it is about drugs itself in terms of violence. You got your block, stay on your block. I got my block, I'll stay on my block. And it's some gang affiliation with it, but it's really about the turf.
It's only done out of fear. It's somebody's here is different, and I better kill him before he kills me. You know, it's it's crazy. Here is Andrew in Jersey. Andrew.
Hi, Ron. I'm a commercial driver. I've actually been to your hometown, Chester, Pennsylvania. I just want to bring up the point that casino they built is also right next to the prison that is there as well.
Yes. You can see them both from the train when you're going back and forth. That area is where, my family is from. And I can tell you, my grandparents and my parents grew up in a fucking city that they love. They loved it. It had the same feeling about it as why people love to live in fucking Brooklyn or Silver Lake. It basically was a hipster neighborhood of the 30s and 40s and 50s. You know what I mean? Yeah. It had bars and restaurants, and fucking bands would come to town, and you could walk out at night and buy meat at one place and cheese at the next and vegetables at the next and come back to your house with it. You didn't have to go to a supermarket and shop. And everybody loved it. And they fucking lost that place, and they're still pissed about it to this day. To this day, people talk about it as if it was the worst thing that could ever happen. Now, white flight took place. Obviously, white flight took place in the south side of Chicago, and most of us do not care about what takes place in a black neighborhood that we're never going to go to or we're not part of. We'll just see it on TV and say, isn't that terrible? Or those people are fucking savages or whatever the fuck we say when we look at the TV, and then we move on. But it is the United States of America. If you fucking sit here and have pride and you look at that flag and says it means something, you don't think that we should feel safe in every fucking square inch of the city of the United States of America? And there's got to be some way that those people feel hope and ready to jump into this and be a part of it.
Well, the strange thing is it doesn't inspire the same anger. Just like you said, people are more afraid about what happened in Paris than they are in Chicago. They care less about civilians. I mean, right. That's what's really strange is that these are your American citizens. These are people that you should have empathy for. And yet it's constantly said, like, if the neighborhood's so bad, why do you live there? I mean, that gets brought up constantly when it comes to, you know, the old lady walking down the street who gets caught in the crossfire, or the little 7-year-old girl who gets shot through the window of her bedroom while she's sleeping, because this is what's happening on the streets. Constantly what's brought up is, why are they there? And yet they don't speak the same way when they talk about Paris, and they don't speak the same way when they talk about, you know, when it happens in New York City. It's a complete disconnect.
Right. And, you know, it comes back to the gun fucking thing, right? And you basically are having, the gun becomes more dangerous depending on the person who is holding it, right? So how do we get to a kind of uneducated in gun safety, blah, 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 kid in an urban area? How does he get a fucking gun? Because he hasn't been raised by people who would properly teach him how to use this weapon. Any more than it would be crazy for a 13 and 14-year-old kid to get a car and go driving down the fucking street. We all agree that's fucking crazy. Well, you're not going to outlaw cars to keep that from happening. But don't you think we've stopped it from happening, that 14-year-old kids can drive wherever they want to?
Yes.
If a fucking cop sees a little head in a car, these are the type of people that have the fucking guns. This is the thing.
I don't know. Maybe that there's a solution there, or there's an answer there, in that there's money to be earned for traffic violations in a way that it's not at the same quantity, and that's what motivates the whole thing. Money motivates everything.
Well, I agree with that, and I think that we all agree that it's a giant problem. And so I did Anthony's tax-giving show, and Gavin
McGinnis.
Yes, Gavin McGinnis says, Jesus Christ, I'm in the middle of talking. So Gavin McGinnis says we have to cut him off, right? And then, but because there's 15 people in the room, I never knew where he was going with that point. But I'm interested to hear any fucking solutions for this. I'm tired of fucking hearing stuff like guns don't kill, people kill. We all get that. If you're fucking going to bring up a bumper sticker, why don't you just be quiet and let some people fucking, you know, who really want to think about this? Because apparently it's not going to stop. And we've been okay with this not stopping for generations. By the way, this all comes up from Chirac, a new Spike Lee film. And I will tell you this. There are scenes in that movie that you swear Anthony wrote. You know what I mean? There are things in that movie that, to me, made the people in that movie look as the lowest thing that you can imagine, like the lowest human instincts. The way they felt about, I need my sex every night and stuff like that. If Anthony says that, everyone calls him a racist. Spike Lee put it in the movie. But, you know, see the movie for that reason. It's all done in verse. I called it rhymes like a fucking idiot. But by the way, I didn't even get to see this movie till this morning.
Yeah.
They were late sending it to me. And I would love to have some time to even think about it before Spike came in. It's not going to be solved by a movie. It's not going to be solved by a fucking radio show. And it's not going to be solved quickly. And it's not going to be solved by a fucking bumper sticker, you know, mentality.
But it certainly has to be in the conversation, and we have to keep it in the conversation, at the top of the conversation. It's weird, the things that we value more than coming up with solutions to this problem.
I would just say this, if it changes, if there's something we need to fucking change in this country, when you're watching the Super Bowl and everyone stands for the giant flag, right? Mm-hmm. Fucking say to yourself, oh, I'm so proud of the history of this country. Are you fucking proud of the present? Period. Are you fucking proud what this generation has given to that flag and what we plan to give to the future of that flag. And is everything supposed to be done by a Friday? Because I'll tell you this, if you look at one of the more interesting things that ever happened in this country, it was Teddy Roosevelt and the National Park System. He went out west and said, this area will not change. Look what the fucking West looked like when Teddy Roosevelt was out there. It looked like we would never run out of land.
Yeah.
He had the foresight to do something not for the people of that time, but for generations ahead. That is what America used to be about. Thinking about what is our time here. Can we stand up and be counted to hand something over to the people of the future that was better than we got? Well, it wasn't about how many fucking hot tubs do I got.
The great example of that is the environment. I mean, that's something that you know that it's going to affect the future generation. It's a much more tangible concept, the way that would affect the generations to come, and we still don't give a shit, and we still don't care. And this is more difficult to say, what kind of laws can we set in place? What kind of action, what kind of community do we want to make it safer for the future? It's so far beyond what they can comprehend, I think.
Here's Lois in Manhattan.
Hey, what's up, guys? Ron, you mentioned earlier about innocent people being shot and all this, grandmothers going to the store,
right?
Children. My thing is, why not treat it more like a hostage situation, and any family that wants to get the hell out of there, make it a lot easier for them to get out? Because I know because I've grown up in neighborhoods like that. You do want to move out, but it's hard, money-wise and things like that. So why not make it easier for people to get out of there? And then maybe that way you can kind of weed out who the troublemakers are and who the people are that are just trying to live their lives.
All right, thanks, Brent. Thanks. Here's Steven, South Dakota.
Hey, Ronnie, Maha Bone.
Maha.
I grew up on the south side of Chicago, out by Midway Airport, probably a little bit further south, a little bit west from where all of this is happening. So I really didn't witness it. But these people are all slaves. They're slaves to all of the rival gangs that are there. They then become addicted to drugs, which makes them even more slaves. These people have no representation in the town or in the city. So until the cops go in there and get all of the gang members out, nothing is ever going to change.
It certainly seems gigantic. Gigantic. Here is Dana in Michigan.
Hey, Ronnie.
Yeah.
As the Paris attacks were happening, I was watching the Barry Crimmins movie, Call Me Lucky, and it made me think about what we're going to do about ISIS in that part of the world. And I think the solution is kind of the same for that. The answer is always war, and it's that instant gratification of murder, and it makes us feel better. That's why we're still in Afghanistan and Iraq. But maybe if we built the schools and the water and the food and we did all the things that we do here for those places, for white people, and we did it for that, it wouldn't happen tomorrow or even in 5 years, but in 10 or 15, maybe 20, it would eventually, the children would look and say, well, wait, these people taught us and gave us water and medical help and all of those things, instead of, these people came and killed my mother, father, brother, and sister, or took my dad away to jail, or whatever it is. And it might be the solution is the money needs to go there instead of the killing.
Well, Crimmins is very interesting because when he said to me that day that he works to the ages and not to the age, that he's basically, and this is an amazing thing for the fact that even blows me away even more that he's an atheist. You're basically working to this audience of time itself. You are living your life in that thing so that you can be judged by the eons of time. That's how these things would have to turn around. It would be a fundamental difference in how we think. And that would mean that people would have to sit down and go, I am going to think differently. I was listening last night to the Opie and Jimmy discussion that went on so long. It's a very interesting thing of people when you go, are you hearing what the other person's saying? Do you get what he's saying? Do you feel, it's very difficult when we have an opinion to be open to hearing different opinions. It's different. It's difficult for liberals and it's difficult for conservatives. You know what I mean? We're doing San Francisco, in the 1960s on our GPS. The whole love and handing out flowers, all that shit is beautiful, right? Is it permanent? Is it real? Is it permanent if you don't have every single person saying it? Because it's not that what they're saying is wrong. Is, hey, live with love, the Jesus stuff, treat your neighbor, blah, blah, blah. It's just, it gets caught up in the day-to-day that you don't do that. If you were a true Christian, which meant you mirrored the life of Christ, you would be living a different life than you're living now. So most of the time that people have problems people have with religion, it's not with Christ. It's not with those teachings. It's with the people who are using those teachings to further get what they want to get.
Pretty much every religion is based in some way on this idea of the golden rule and caring for one another and not putting yourself first. I mean, you can go through every religion and there is some form of that at the core.
I hear that. I always hear that Muslims, that's a religion of love. I never see it because I don't see that on TV. I see the guys who run into a place and blow up a fucking, soccer stadium with a vest on. So I don't know whether or not it's a teaching of love. I just know that most people do not mirror the life of Moses or Christ or Muhammad. We just don't do it. We do our thing, and it fucks us up. If you don't see this, it's easy enough as you go back in space to start to see this planet as one organism, right? But it's one organism that's fighting against itself. It's killing itself. And always has been.
Yeah.
This fucking is not, this movie, this talk, any solutions come out. It doesn't. Now, I see this guy who started Facebook today. He's giving away 99% of his money. First of all, it's shocking and embarrassing that a dude can give away 99% of his worth and have more money than anybody that you know. But number two, Chris immediately said, big deal, he's giving it to his own charities. He's not doing shit. He's very negative about that.
Yeah.
But we have this sharing thing the billionaires are doing, give it away or whatever they call it. There's 130 billionaires now that are involved in that. It all basically, I think Bill Gates started it. But that's something that people wouldn't have dreamt about a little while ago. There are things, there's more positivity out there than we all realize. I'll tell you this, if you have cancer or know someone with cancer, it's a different thing than it was 20 years ago, 30 years ago. You certainly don't want or know someone who has cancer, but your odds are certainly much better now than when I was a kid, when it was just an immediate death sentence. In my lifetime, if Fez Whatley would have had the same problems that he had now, he's a dead man.
Yeah.
He would have died, period. So things do get better. We do make progress. It just doesn't feel like it. It just rarely feels like it, particularly when we take in as much information as we do. See these fucking horrible things that people write and the way they feel and how cynical and shitty they are, and it makes you cynical and shitty. We could all turn into Chris Stanley if we're not fucking careful.
Easily.
It's coming.
But when I sit around and the guy just bringing up Crimmins and what he said and how that affected his life, and then I think of Chris next to Crimmins not making eye contact, spitting on the floor, yelling out Scope Bros instead of talking to a man that deserved your respect. I'm just like, where is this going? What happens? You have a Kashmir who does nothing more than, no matter what we're talking about, he brings up the pigtails and sweater that Gail has today. Joey Jojo playing air drums for every fucking soft rock song that comes down the road.
All day, every day.
Hey, can I say something? the stuff that was pulled from RBI for the GPS by our two interns, Jamban and Kashmir together. Jamban, I can see pulling it off. I'm surprised Kashmir could. They nailed it so much, I don't even think we edited what they had to say. Every one of those actualities, people that have done this show talking about what it was like in San Francisco. This GPS, first of all, even the way it starts, I'm not giving it away because I want you to hear it the same way we came up with it, but it was a fucking incredibly cool time. Jamban said it was his favorite time.
Yeah.
Musical history.
Well, it's certainly arguably one of the strongest scenes. It's there was so much community, so much going on there, really great music. I'm really excited about it. And you're right, they did a phenomenal job pulling those. I think it really fills out the whole thing. I'm very excited about it.
And that premieres Saturday at 3 p.m. on Deep Tracks Channel 27, 3 p.m. in the East.
Is that right, Chris?
Yeah, that's when it premieres.
I'm going to listen.
And Gail's going to be scoping beforehand.
Smoking and scoping.
Prizing and
Matt, my fucking nephew at Thanksgiving dinner says to me, why doesn't Chris Stanley inhale?
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I do inhale. Love it. Love cigarettes.
No one believes that you do.
Find me in the street. You'll see me inhaling.
I'll just say this: Chris Stanley smokes like his lungs were right behind his tonsils. It seems like there's a slight inhale to the top part of the throat and then back out again.
Oh, deep through in the mouth, through the nose, down to the lung.
Dude, I went to that guy. I was fucking loving what he was saying about racism, and then that was it.
Where'd he go?
I don't know.
What's his name?
Sean, California. Sean, we got you, buddy?
Sean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're on. Hey, I had a comment on your question about how to solve the gun problem in the country. And I think it's not necessarily a problem. It's a twofold. It's socioeconomic and it's mental health.
Well, you know how far we are from solving anything mental health wise? I mean, it's fucking amazing. And when I even look at the number of people I know that have borderline mental health issues, and I'm not even talking about real crazy shit, but I'm talking about either dealing with a daily anxiety, compulsion, addiction, depression. It's most of the fucking people I know.
I'm just listing those. I'm having trouble finding someone who doesn't fit into at least one of those categories.
Joey Jojo is mentally the most helpful.
Do you think he's the most mentally healthy person on the show?
Yes, I would.
I'm gunning for that.
I don't get
You'll
shaken.
never get it. I mean, first of all, the fact that you beat me in addiction fucking boxes should really alarm you. Because the other night, and it was after this, after we did the movie show, Doug Loves Movies. It's like, I don't know, 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. I go, and it was so fucking sweet of Chris to show up and,
Great show.
Well, forget the great show, but you were there to support me and make sure I didn't have the prize I was supposed to give out.
That was an oversight.
So I say to Chris, hey, you want to grab a bite or something? My treat. And he goes like this. I would, but there's a card game that I'm supposed to go down the street. I walk him to this shady fucking building in Chelsea where he heads up a fire escape. He climbs up a fire escape, and I watch him go up into the fire escape and into a building, which means the people aren't in the building legally. They can't get the front door of this place is sealed off.
Yeah.
So the only way to come in, and there he is at a fucking thing. And as he's going up the fire escape, I go like this, and I wish I didn't say it. Text me so I know you got home later. Because I felt helpless. But I'm like, why is he a gambling addict as well as all these other addictions?
This is insane.
Is this a new thing that's come up recently?
No, it isn't. No, you were gambling your money away years ago.
Oh, well, cards, though. Cards, like sports
Specifically,
gambling.
the game, you mean? Yes, probably. But not gambling.
And I know for a fact that there was a rolling crap game. Now, rolling means it's never in the same spot. that he was part of. But why are you? When did you jump into this Texas Hold'em thing?
About a month or two ago. It's just, just so like, hey, you want to come to a game? Like, okay.
How do you even find out about a game that you can't go up an elevator and through? You're going up, I believe it was 10 stories of fire escape walking that he did. He had to literally climb up a ladder until he got to the first one.
Yeah.
And I watched him go up 10 different stories.
Now, here's my question to you, Chris.
Okay.
If we were outside and there was a building on fire, and a woman was screaming, help me, please. Would you have done that same climb, or would you only do it?
What a great fucking concept. The answer is no. I'm going to answer for him.
Because there's no way I can imagine you shimmying up that.
No. It would have to
fire
be
escape.
A bindle, a fucking keg.
If there was some juice, some action up there.
And, of course, his new thing, losing.
Friends and friends. You hear things like, okay, I guess I'll check that out.
What kind of friends would have friends who knew where this fucking shitty thing was?
Sometimes you make new friends and weird things happen.
And there was I had this thing as, as I watched him walking down the street in his battered old coat. I even thought of old Dean Moriarty. The father we never found. I thought of Dean Moriarty. I think of Dean Moriarty. But that's how I felt about him. And there was just that thing of the sweet, loving loser. You know what I mean?
Like the sweet and loving part.
Yeah, but I just had an image of myself, in a morgue, fucking having them unzip that zipper and me going like this, Yep, that's him.
Identify me by these shoulder scars. They're shoulder scars. That's when you'll know it's me.
His body was bloated, and we only found it a minute and a half ago.
No, that's him.
I'll get a call from the police. We found his live bloated body sunbathing next to the river.
Hot. It's hot out. But yeah. Just on the weekends, Have some fun.
Yeah, that's it.
Concerned?
No, don't be. Everything's great.
I felt like Brad Pitt's stupid older brother. Remember in that fucking movie when they were in Montana?
Oh, yeah.
And the moron was just driving away. And you're like, how many times? When is this drive going to end with him dead?
And they're going to say, he said all the bones in his right hand were broken.
Oh, no.
The thing about Chris is he wants to fucking live like a young man, but with the wisdom of an older man. He fucking wants his home and security, and then he wants to live like a sailor at sea. Beautiful loser, where are you going to fall when you realize you can't have it all? He's your older son, your best friend. They still won't let that man in the fucking Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because he wasn't born anywhere near a coast.
It's not fair.
Yeah, it is what it is. You're going to be stupid enough to make music in the Midwest, they're going to treat you like shit. Jam Band, I want you to come in here very quickly. He had gone back, he and Kashmir, his well-dressed compatriot, had went back through the RBIs. We're lucky enough. We've had a bunch of people who were in San Francisco during the 1960s. You're how old, Jam Ben?
23.
He's 23 years old. His favorite musical time was the mid to late 60s in San Francisco.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, isn't that fucking amazing? Now, I just want you to understand something. If this was 1965, right, this would be like a hippie saying, oh, my favorite music was 1913 to 1917. Okay? This is why I still have a large belief in rock and roll, that this young man would be in here at 23 wearing the Who shirt and talking about who were the bands that you loved in that era.
Well, the Grateful Dead is probably my favorite band ever. So.
Probably the San Francisco band.
Yeah.
Correct?
Well,
definitive, maybe.
Yeah.
Pretty much everyone that we put on that list is a favorite of mine.
Is that right?
Yeah. And the other thing, when you brought up the GPS thing, I was so excited to work on it because you said San Francisco and London. And right there, those are like my two favorite musical cities.
Maybe we should do London next.
Yeah.
The tough thing about London is finding the correct era to say, here's where that era start and stop, and not the next one. Because if you even look at like 1964 London and that sound, right? What was Cream? 67, 68? And it's totally different.
Yeah, very different.
Yeah. And it's somewhat, the interesting thing was we had some of the kind of pop bands right before the San Francisco sound, like San Francisco bands that had hits, but we couldn't fit them in. I really wanted to show, hey, this was 1964, and then this is what it sounded like in 65. It's fucking light years of difference, you know? But we couldn't fit it all in there. It was a problem of riches. It was
Yeah.
And I said to Chris, did they say they could give us more time? And Chris said this to me, I'll never forget. So that was all I heard back.
Yeah, makes
but I'm
sense.
sure they would have given us more time. Have you heard back how much they love this?
They're going to get back to me today. I'm actually calling them today.
What time?
I'm going to call them at 4:25.
Why so late?
I have a meeting after the show. I can call them right at 3.
Why can't you call them right now? You haven't done anything with this fucking show. You haven't come up with one Chicago solution for me. I'm trying to stop gun deaths in the United States, and I only have 56 minutes left to do it.
Is that too much to ask?
Can we build a wall around the south side?
Oh,
What?
You're such a Donald Trump motherfucker. You know that?
I get the wall idea in my head, and I just try to apply it to everything.
Did you say in my eyes?
Gail, and I know you experienced it. When Spike smiles at you and his eyes light up, how many people have that kind of thing? It's so rare.
Yes, he's incredibly, I don't know, it's charismatic, but it's just like there's something very magnetic about him.
Samuel Jackson in this movie plays a one-man Greek chorus, right? It's like he could have played the Joker. I mean, there's something about that guy. If you think of how many of those guys started with Spike early on, the first starring roles that they got were with Spike. It's crazy. Not to mention even a lot of great white actors who the same thing happened.
He was Michael Rappaport. He was
Michael Rappaport was amazing.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Another one that we're going to be putting together with him.
John Turturro.
Yeah.
It was amazing. John Turturro in Do the Right Thing maybe steals the movie. Maybe the racist Italian guy steals the movie. That's how fucking good he is in that. It's crazy. Now, Radio Raheem is the movie. Such a fucking good actor. There are bands in San Francisco in that era that could have been the greatest band in any city at any time. And maybe they finished 10th in San Francisco. And I wonder if that's why people kind of up their game and they play better.
Yeah, that you get inspired by seeing other. Well, that's why that kind of stuff, it doesn't happen in a
vacuum.
In a vacuum, you know, it's everybody feeds off of each other. You see one person doing something, and I think what's cool about that too is that if you find yourself in that kind of a community, it's not even specific to music. It makes people want to create things of all kinds.
All right. So that's interesting. So if you're in San Francisco in the 60s, do you think you would have been a hippie?
Yeah, I would have been a hippie.
If you were in the Lower East Side in the 70s, would you have been punk?
Yeah, I would have been a punk.
So if you were born in the South Side of Chicago, 16 years old today, what would you be?
I'd be gang banging.
That's the interesting thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen in a vacuum. Goes back to Gail's thing. That can happen in a positive or a negative.
Of course. And then they turn around and want to, I guess, kind of cast judgment of why don't they? It starts from before the seed is planted for a lot of these kids before they're born.
Did you watch the Bronx documentary that I sent you? I got from Kyle. He got it off Doug Stanhope.
Oh, no, I've not seen it.
Do you remember the name of it? It was on Netflix.
I'll find it right now.
So the basics there were the Bronx, the 50s into the 60s and 70s.
Rumble Kings.
Mm-hmm. the number of gangs that you had there was astronomical. Every block had a gang. Any four buddies ended up with fucking shirts and jackets fighting against any other. And it goes on and goes on. It's just impossible to fucking do until these kids start putting on hip-hop shows. And it fucking changes everything because you don't want to plan a big hip-hop block party with just you and your 5 friends. They wanted to bring motherfuckers from everywhere. And people started dancing instead of stabbing. And it seems fucking impossible. Watch Rumble Kings. It's fucking mind-blowing how this negative thing for all this time becomes this weird positive thing of kids, thousands of them, at these fucking shows rapping over disco records. Crazy. Fucking crazy.
It's strange. There's something obviously very broad about the concept there of using sex, the deprivation of having sex, versus you've got to choose one or the other. But if you just step back and think of it as the beauty in life, whether it's sexuality or it's art or music, and saying, which are you going to choose? If you put the emphasis on what is beautiful about being a human being, which is, you know, for the most part, art, sex, community, all that kind of stuff, it's the only thing we've got.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's the whole reason for fucking living. Bob, Michigan.
Yeah. Hey, not to change the subject or anything, but
go ahead and change it.
Bob Seger did make the Hall of Fame.
Holy shit! I didn't even know this. Nobody on my team know this.
I didn't know it. I just believed you.
Same time Jackson Brown did.
He's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. 2004.
Bob, Michigan. You're going into the pretty good prize closet, and you deserve it, my friend.
It's the pretty good prize. It's the pretty good prize closet. We have pretty good prizes. It's the pretty good prize. It's the pretty good prize closet. We have good prizes.
Hey, Bob. How you doing, buddy?
Not bad.
For winning the pretty good prize out of the pretty good prize clause, you get the signed CD, State, signed by Todd Rundgren.
Oh! It's a pretty good prize. It's the pretty good prize closet.
Bob, I hope you love Durant. He's amazing.
All right, thanks.
All right, see you later, man. Hey, did you send out the prize to the young lady that I won for, Husp?
Yes, I did. That was sent out yesterday.
And has it arrived now?
It should arrive. It should arrive today, yeah. Today or tomorrow, depending on, his building.
What do you do, double overnight it?
No, I just overnight, but sometimes it takes 2 days, I've found.
But that's crazy. Overnight means overnight.
I put next day air on the thing, and then some people's like, yeah, I got a couple days later.
Why would it be air if you're just sending it uptown?
That's the option.
How are you flying it to the Bronx from here?
By copter?
It's the UPS. It's a UPS copter. It must be dropping it off.
There's no copter. There's a chopper.
That's the only options given to me by UPS. I always check off next day air. I want people to get their stuff quickly.
Soon you're going to have drones, Chris.
I can't wait.
Send in the drones.
Have a drone army?
It's not that kind of drone, but okay.
It's not the same, but...
I want them fucking armed.
You're an asshole, Chris.
What?
Because you make fun of fucking gangbanging on a serious day. And you could have fucking been there.
I could. Oh, yeah. I would have been caught up in it. Working a corner, having a piece on me. It'd be terrible.
Dave Chappelle wants you to lock up your phones if you go to a Dave Chappelle show. Now, this is up on the iBang. Look, now here's what happens. They don't take your phone. You stick it into this thing that gets sealed, right?
Yeah.
And then as you leave the theater, it unseals.
What the fuck?
This looks like a Shark Tank event. And I got news for you. I wouldn't like to do this with my phone. I don't like to have my shit fucking sealed up.
No, what if something terrible happens and you need to go to your phone? Like
what could terrible happen?
I don't know. Someone gets hurt or there's an attack of some sort. Someone has to text you.
So you're saying, what if it's that anytime you go to a show, you go, what if this turns into the Eagles of Death Battle?
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, what if you need your phone and it's stuck in this crazy pouch that can't be fucking Seems like a Harry Potter thing.
All right, let's not take it to magic so fast.
This is not
Would you do
wizardry.
this? Would you pouch your phone like this?
I would do it, but I know that I would feel uncomfortable about it. Like it wouldn't stop me from going, but I know that I would feel really disconnected and uncomfortable.
Joey Jojo.
Yeah, I would do it in a heartbeat.
I got news for you. We sometimes we go to screenings with the general public, and then they say you got to turn in your phone. We don't want you fucking videotaping this thing. I go, then I'm not coming to see your fucking movie. I'm not leaving my phone here in a bag with you because it takes time, and then coming out and waiting in line for the bag. I'm coming in and leaving.
Right.
I would just rather not talk about your fucking movie before I stick my phone in the lunch bag.
No.
So now the critics don't have to do it. I get thrown in with the critics because I'm kind of a legendary radio personality, but I don't want to fucking I don't want my phone locked up in a pouch. I get that you don't want anybody to videotape your show, but I ain't going to fucking do it, dude.
Right.
I'm not the dude you got to worry about.
You got to trust your audience.
You at least got to trust me. And then pouch everybody else's fucking phone. But I'm looking at you, and I haven't uploaded shit. I never uploaded anything to YouTube in my life. I don't even know how it gets up there.
Cloud. It's a cloud.
Matter of fact, if I can't even see a YouTube video that has ass on it, because I don't like to sign up and say, here's my name and address. So fuck it. I won't see the ass videos. I'd rather not.
Nothing explicit.
Because to me, giving that over is the same thing. You're taking up my fucking time, and now you're also fucking judging me with no fucking reason.
Now, do you get to hold these pouches?
They're useless to you, though.
Yeah.
And then apparently when you walk out into the lobby, it pops open.
They call it the impotence pouch.
I don't like that.
I don't like it either.
I don't trust this at all. I'll wait for the special, Dave. Hopefully you're making one.
Pretty good prize.
I would go, but I would imagine it would be a negative experience. It would make me very uncomfortable.
I was actually at Creed in Astoria, and there was a guy bootlegging the movie on his phone. It was the first time I've ever seen it in all the movies I've been to.
You should have tackled him.
I couldn't believe what I was like, wow, this really does happen like this in random screenings. Some guy was just sitting 3 rows in front of me, fucking recording the movie on his cell phone.
That would drive me nuts. Could you see like a light or anything like?
I could see the movie through his phone. I started watching the movie through the phone for a second. Then wait
or for the whole time?
For long patches.
It's good when it's tiny too.
It's so much better.
Al, Maryland.
Ronnie, hey, neat discussion about New York City music. I just started reading a book I don't know if you're familiar with called Love Goes to Buildings on Fire.
It's a brand new novel, right?
Yeah. I don't know if it's brand new.
It's new.
I thought there's a fictional novel out, and I got that, and it referenced this book, and it sounded more interesting than the fictional novel.
So what's the fictional novel called? Because I heard this kid, he worked on it for years. They just gave him $2 million.
Love Goes to Buildings on Fire, and the author's name is Will Hermes. So I don't know when it was released. I don't think it's new though. It's really good, really in depth. It covers jazz, punk, rap, Latino. Everything. It's really in depth. It's a pretty heavy read, but really interesting. It covers all the genres and how it all pulls together from 71, I believe, to 75 is the era that's covered.
And just about Manhattan.
It's all about New York City. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That you're thinking of City on Fire.
Theme.
That's the one where the young kid wrote it and got $2 million.
Yeah, I want to fucking read that.
Yeah,
but I want to now read Love Goes to Building on Fire. And all right, peace.
Yeah.
What's this Hannibal Buress story? What's up on the iBank?
The 76ers tweeted, they responded to a tweet of Hannibal's, and then Hannibal just says, blocked.
That's really hilarious. That's really fucking funny. I think he's gonna run. I mean, they won their first game last night, right? I think they're like 1-16. I really was hoping they'd lose them all. I've never seen a basketball team fucking act like, one, Washington Generals. And I can't tell you the money I've lost of the Washington Generals over the years. I mean, I'm like, these fuckers are due. And like, I would go to games. I saw when the Generals were playing the fucking Globetrotter. And I'm fucking screaming, Curly Neal is traveling! Why are you fucking... He's traveling! Oh, because he has a bucket of confetti? Yes, it's funny, but take the fucking points off the board. Generals ball, let's go. Some of those guys that played with the Generals are some of the greatest ball players of all time. You got to be great to be a straight man. And they can fucking play, those guys.
What if they were bad themselves? Had to at some point.
Well, Curly Neal was the one, but it was Meadowlark Ledman was the famous loud guy, and he used to get on my nerves when I was a kid. I'd be like, I like all the fucking Globetrotters except for Meadowlark. And, because he was just too loud and fucking yelling. And then I remember me and my friends were like saying about whether the Globetrotters could beat the Sixers. And my dad comes in and he goes like this, stop talking stupid. You guys sound like idiots. I'm like, what? He goes, it's fake as you're wrestling. I go, what do you mean? Fake? What do you say? Come back. Daddy.
Dad.
Dad.
You meant neither of those are fake? Is that what you meant?
Everything. It's as fake as the love I have for your mother.
What?
You took my youth, boy. The Leo raped by a bear story. It went around. We all thought it was great. But Gail, you're saying it's not true?
Yeah, they're saying that it is untrue. The character was very mauled by a bear. Leonardo DiCaprio's character was mauled by a bear, but they're not sure how Drudge and his team decided that not only raped twice was with the report by Drudge, that Leonardo DiCaprio's character is raped twice, but that people saw it in the screenings and were so disgusted that they walked out because they were forced to watch a bear-on-man rape.
Well, you can see that in Chelsea, but it's a different kind of bear. Chris, you've read this as well?
Yeah. And this was like a Drudge exclusive. Like Drudge and whatever his sources wrote this up and put it as a link on the Drudge Report. It wasn't just like a link to another site. It's like, this is a Drudge exclusive. DiCaprio.
And they never do that anymore.
Ever. It's been years. They used to do it like maybe 10, 15 years ago, like when it first started.
Yeah.
He'd have his exclusives. But this is the first time I've seen it. And it's just as simple as anything else. There's no pictures, just a shitty type on the fucking screen. It's awful.
Did he come back and apologize and say it's not a rape?
I haven't seen him apologize yet.
He's so ridiculous.
Because and it's a female bear that attacks. Yes. It's fucking babies. It's cubs.
Yeah, and also, I guess, Fox was the... I think
it was Fox. It was the studio.
Came forward and had to be like, no one's raped by a bear. Like, how embarrassing to have to make that PR statement.
I wish I didn't even know that somebody was mauled by a bear.
Well, they show it in the trailer.
I don't watch trailers. I refuse to watch a trailer.
What do you do when you go to the movies?
I come in late. I stand in the lobby and smoke. And because you can smoke in the lobbies at any movie theater.
Oh, I didn't know.
Can't smoke inside.
I got to start then. This is how Drudge has responded. He has a link saying, Fox says there's no rape of DiCaprio.
That's true.
And then immediately underneath that, the sex lives of bears. Story about bears.
Interesting.
I don't care about that. Mad Max was named Best Movie of the Year by who, Chris?
The National Board of Review has named it the best movie of 2015. It didn't win any other awards.
Have they seen the Tarantino film? Have they seen the...
They've seen stuff. Yeah, they've seen Star Wars. They've seen Quentin Tarantino, and they named Mad Max Fury Road the best movie of the year.
So they've already seen Star Wars.
Yeah, they've seen Star. They've seen. I mean, that's the National Board of Review.
Leak? So what? It doesn't mean that they put it. If I'm Star Wars, I'm not letting them see it first.
Yeah, that's nuts.
I doubt if they've seen it. They might have seen the Tarantino, and they might have seen this. I forget what the other one is that that they're always putting J-Lo in. Same directors, same fucking actors.
Hunger Games?
Hunger Games.
Not Hunger Games. Dude, fucking grow up.
Come on.
Okay? This isn't your fucking Brooklyn where you were fucking walking down the street telling me, oh, this is going to be the biggest movie of the year. Every one of my friends is going to be see it. And it fucking flopped like I told you that night.
None of them saw it. All of them just went to a different movie.
Why were you excited? Saying it was going to be the movie of your generation. And I go, I don't know who's going to see this movie. It's an R-rated Christmas movie about 30-something guys getting fucked up. I was laughing at it when I didn't drift off to sleep. It was a very tired day, and I had to go up a lot of escalators. I went from the cold to the heat.
Yeah.
I slept quite a bit because I saw a bunch of the trailer, and I'm like, the fuck is this from? And I guess when I was snoozing. Why wouldn't you give me the elbow, Joe?
I did try to, but the girl I was sitting next to, I was trying to make a play on.
Can I tell you something? I woke up.
This is so uncomfortable.
And
for
I
me.
say, we're stuck in literally in a movie theater in Times Square, right? So I wake up after a nice fucking refreshing sleep. And I'm on one of Joe's fucking armrests, and the girl next to him is on the other. And he's sitting like a little kid with his hands on his fucking knees.
It was attentive.
You gotta fucking fight for the armrest, dude.
I know, I'm realizing that now.
It's a war out there.
I wouldn't say war, but...
What the fuck's that supposed to mean?
First of all, no one would say any of the dumbest shit Chris says. Look, I'm going to put this out to everybody. Just because you're not as dumb as Chris doesn't make you smart.
That's right. Yeah.
You ever fucking say shit and just so embarrassed even seconds later?
Sure. I remember once I was like, hey, what's that mark on Jesus' hand? Oh, it's from the fucking crucifixion.
That was actually one of the smarter dumb things that you ever said.
Wow, thanks. Or maybe they haven't seen Star Wars, but they've seen The Hateful Eight. They gave out awards for that. But best film overall was Mad Max. I saw Mad Max. This is fucking Mad Max.
What are the other awards? I'm going to hear them all. Let's see if we can guess, because I haven't seen shit for movies. I'm going to have a very busy fucking December, Chris.
Best director is...
I don't know. I'm going to guess because it's these animals. I'm going to say they gave it to Tarantino.
Yeah.
Ridley Scott for The Martian.
Oh.
Okay.
I guess I'm going to end up having to see The Martian, huh?
I didn't see it. I guess I'll have to see it too.
I felt like I saw it the first time when Sandra Bullock was a Martian.
Made a lot more sense, too. She didn't have to grow anything. Best actor.
Best actor. Let me give that to Samuel L. Jackson for Hateful Eight.
I'm going to give it to Sylvester Stallone for Creed.
That would be supporting.
Oh, supporting.
Matt Damon. Oh, for The Martian.
Should have fucking known that.
Okay, it's getting really marshy in here.
Best actress.
Again, Matt Damon. I'm going to guess best actress goes to J-Lo. No, I'm going to say best actress goes to the girl who plays in the lesbian movie, right?
Oh, I know who you mean.
Yeah. She played Bob Dylan in the fucking movie. We love her.
Tilda Swinton.
Not
No,
fucking
no,
Tilda
not
Swinton.
the other one.
Yeah, the other
Kate
one.
Blanchett.
There you go.
Yeah, there.
Brie Larson for Room.
I don't think I want to see that Room. What else has Brie Larson done?
Mad Men and Community. The two other things people know
It's
her
two
from.
things I don't watch her in.
Wait, which one's Brie Larson from Mad Men?
She's Trudy.
She's the good-looking guy, right? That everybody likes.
Oh, Trudy. I know who you mean.
Good.
Gotcha.
That's
like,
good,
I was
Gail.
still gonna be like, there is no Trudy. I was like,
You mean Rudy? Did she fucking get a tackle at the end of the season?
Yeah.
Because then she should win.
definitely then.
Best supporting actor.
Sylvester Stallone.
Stallone for Creed.
Holy shit, are you serious?
Yes, I'm serious. Yes, Stallone
Boy,
for
Leslie's going to fucking cry over this. So I said on the show one day, I go, I am hearing that Sylvester Stallone could win Best Supporting Actor. Leslie writes to me, and we haven't had her in here in a long time. We got to get her back in. Whoever told you that is a goddamn liar. And then I sent her the links. It was like Variety and all these big magazines. I go, I haven't seen it yet. You know?
Yeah.
I just go around lying and say I see it when I'm on different fucking podcasts.
Sure, you got to do what you got to do.
Well, I try to sound current. You know what I mean?
That's the best way to
like
do it.
normally, if I was doing a podcast tomorrow, I'd be like, that fucking Adele album has really just grabbed me.
Yeah.
Killed it.
And they'll go, did you listen to it? I go, yeah, all of it.
Mm-hmm.
every song.
Hello and all the other ones.
Hello, is it me you're looking for?
It's actually a cover.
Because I'm making a fake head that looks like Lionel Richie. Go ahead.
Best supporting actress.
From the same movie that I brought up, the lesbian movie. Is it My Girl? That I just said. I'm not saying Brie Larson again. What was the other one? Not Tilda
Kate
Swinton.
Blanchett.
Yeah,
Blanchett.
No, it's not. It's Jennifer Jason Leigh, Hateful Eight.
God, I love Jennifer Jason Leigh.
I hope that she would get that.
I'm going to tell you Jennifer Jason Leigh's story.
Okay.
We're doing Unmasked. This is about 7 years ago. And I'm standing out front. I'm fucking having a little smoke. I don't even think anybody is with me. And coming down the street is Jennifer Jason Leigh, the actress. And she's on the telephone, and she's holding it so delicately. And I felt like she was just floating, like 8 inches off the ground, just going down the street, floating. She was like a little angel, like a tiny little angel.
I love her. She's great.
Well, the National Board of Review gave her an award.
Noah Baumbach left her for the Greta Gerwig. So don't bring up Greta Gerwig.
I wouldn't.
If she comes in for a Hateful Eight, which I hope she does, don't be like, oh, you know who's good? Greta Gerwig.
I will not say
Me
that.
neither. I definitely
I won't even tell her that I was on the train with her once.
Greta Gerwig?
Yeah.
That sounds like you're in a Greta Gerwig movie.
I know. I felt like I was.
By the way, I liked the Greta Gerwig movie, The Mistress America.
You saw that, right?
But I love the little girl in it. The new girl. And her father is a drummer for Bad Company.
Oh, yeah.
Which, here's what I love about Bad Company. Band, album, and song all called Bad Company. That's fucking hilarious to me.
Threat.
They're like, let's just name the song Bad Company because I really feel like it sums us up pretty well.
I don't know anybody else who ever did that but Talk Talk. I think they named their album that, but I know the song was called Talk Talk because I saw them open for Elvis Costello. And by the time they got around to doing Talk Talk and they were called Talk Talk, I was fucking cracking up.
Not enough bands do it.
I know.
Best original screenplay.
Well, that's going to go to Quentin Tarantino, Hateful Eight.
Yes.
Correct. Big ups.
Now, let me ask you this. If he wins his third Oscar for screenwriting, but he's never won a director, does that annoy you a little bit? Or
Yes, and this is a trend. It's very common that I see directors.
You know what? You're right.
Directors that I really love, and they get props for their screenplays, but they won't get a nod for the
Wes
best
Anderson,
film.
Cameron Crowe,
Paul Thomas Anderson,
Spike Jonze.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And did I ever think of this before? Am I hearing it the first time now?
Because always those movies every year, they're probably your personal picks, not only for best director, but probably best film. And they always, as though it's a less than. You're like, oh, we'll just throw them a screenplay because we truly like this one best.
All right. The New York Critics Circle Awards were today, right? Best Picture, Best Director, Best Screenplay, Best Cinematography all go to the film Carol, which I tried to bring up here a couple of times and was smacked down by Chris Stanley. Let me just say this. Company always on the run. That's why they call me. Boom, boom, boom. That bum, bum, bum there could just be to sum up the entire 70s. There was so much of that kind of thing.
Just like a 3-second
Yeah, just
moment.
like boom, boom, boom. What?
We need to break one more
Let
time.
me take this fucking call about you, though, okay?
Okay.
Frank, Maryland.
Hey, Chris screwed up the best actress nod there. Alison Brie is in Community and Mad Men. That is not the name of the girl in Room. That is my contribution to the show.
Oh my God! And you make me look. No wonder I was so confused.
Can I just?
Is her name even Trudy?
Gail, as you're the new managing executive over the executive producer, I'm going to report this to you. That just cost us a pretty good prize.
It's the pretty good prize. It's the pretty good prize for us Clubland. We have pretty good prizes. It's the pretty good price. It's the pretty good price. Price Closet. We have good prizes
at the closet.
Frank, call us back. But you win. Brie Larson wasn't in Community, but she was in 21 Jump Street, the signed DVD signed by Rob Riggle.
Whoa! All right, Frank did hang up when we all started screaming and singing Pretty Good Prize. So call us right back, Frank. You proved that Chris Stanley is a fucking moron. Now, Chris, before I let you break yet again, my friend Jermaine Lassier wants to explain to us what the fuck is going on with the critics. G-Baby, what's happening, pal?
Hey, buddies. The critics basically, who, if you're in any of those critics guilds, they've seen every single movie that you probably have to see, or except for Star Wars. Star Wars, they're holding back because they don't want people to spoil anything. They're not screening that until the week that it comes out, which is like 2 weeks away. Hateful Eight started screening this week, and that's the last one. But everybody else is...
Have you seen it?
I'm seeing it on Friday. I couldn't make the earlier screening, so I'm seeing it on Friday. I can't wait.
Well, whenever you get a chance, give me a call about that, because I never told you this before, but I love that Quentin Tarantino.
I didn't know. I will. I will let you know on Monday what I think of it.
Quentin Tarantino saw every film of his in the theater. I don't know if I can say that ever about any other director. Every film.
I've never done it. Never.
Ron.
Yes.
Ron, I have to just know, because I missed Monday's show. Did you like Creed? Because I freaking loved Creed.
I made up that I saw it, so I haven't seen it yet. But Gail saw it in the city of South Philadelphia, which, by the way, is the lion's share of where the tickets were sold. And it would be the biggest movie of all time if everyone in the country went and saw it the way Philadelphians have. But what did you think, Gail?
It was so much fun to watch it in Philadelphia. That crowd, seeing it in South Philadelphia, it was like you were at a real fight. Like, that's how excited this crowd was watching the movie.
Yeah, but they treated Rocky 2 the same fucking way, and I'm not even making that up.
So I don't know if my opinion is swayed by how much fun it was in that room, but I was thoroughly entertained. I'll put it that way. That's the best way to say it. It was a really entertaining movie.
But isn't that when a movie really is kind of great when you do... I mean, isn't that why we go to the theater and not want to watch movies at home? To get swept up, whether it's comedy or horror.
Yeah.
Or in this case, just let you know you can be anything you want to be and all you work to it. You got to go for it, you get swapped for it. You got to drink some raw egg. This raw egg going to make you go, hey, Philly, right? Philly, hoagie.
Yeah.
People go crazy for that, man.
Went nuts. There's so many like little Philly like references like the crowd would pop for.
He just drops the name Kensington or fucking Wissahick and fucking Crick and everybody goes crazy.
Or like little terms that like even I didn't know, and I can feel like I know a lot of Philly talk. So there's a scene in which she's explaining to somebody the term Johns. And I knew nothing about
it's
Johns.
Really fucking funny.
And she's like, this is a John, that's a John, this is a John. And everyone in the audience is going, yeah, Johns! And I'm like, what is that? And I'm there with my man. He's like, yeah, that's a John, everything's a John. Like every noun is a John. This little John right here. This John, I got this John.
It's like the way we'd always use gimmicks.
Right.
Like I got to pick up my gimmicks. All right, we got to break here. G-Baby, call me literally the second that you see the Tarantino film.
All right, you got it. Ron.
Talk to you later. Jermaine Lassier, one of my favorite film writers of all time. And look, I've known Jermaine enough to know that he found his real passion. He fucking loves this.
Yeah.
He loves films. This is the only thing I think would be different is if Chris was to write an article about cigarettes, like how good cigarettes are.
Yeah.
And how he likes to smoke them and taste them.
Oh, they're great. It's instant.
I got a break here, Chris.
Yeah.
But when we come back, for the first time ever, we're going to do Scope Bro roll call.
Yes.
Chris's Scope Bro fucking nation is out there, and they looking alarmingly a lot like Chris.
Love you.
We're right back. It's Bennington. Ron and Gail Bennington will be hosting GPS on Saturday on Deep Tracks, 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock, Deep Tracks, Channel 27. You will find us there.
Yeah. Ernest in Florida has a spy report.
Spy report.
Ernest, we got you, buddy?
Hey, Ron.
Yeah.
You said that Los Angeles wasn't really getting involved in the whole guns thing.
Well,
CNN
I meant gangbanging thing.
Oh, yeah, sorry. CNN is reporting that the San Bernardino Fire Department is responding to a 20-victim shooting incident.
We're looking up on our wall of televisions. Streets are closed there. Confirmed between 1 to 3 possible suspects. Multiple victims in the shooting. Maybe as many as 20. And you can see these people in this really beautiful community in shock. Some shot, being taken away by ambulance. No idea of how it started or what went down right now. But, and you will forget about this within a couple of days, a massive shooting in San Bernardino, California, right outside of Los Angeles, California, home of the Doors. Crazy.
It's just weird how this is such a way of life. It's
our way of life.
It's like downright Shakespearean. It's crazy. It's like gangs in the street stuff.
And yet you can look at this, and this isn't the black neighborhood where they have no hope or no whatever. I mean, this neighborhood is gorgeous. It's a place that you would be happy to live in. It's a beautiful area, and 20 people left home today that have been shot. But the guns didn't shoot. It's the people with the guns. The guns are good. The guns are great. So let's protect the guns, whatever we do. Hopefully no guns were shot in this situation. I hope and pray. I'm going to say a prayer right now that no guns were injured today. Well, within 3 days, you'll forget about it, folks. You'll put it with the other shootings, the mass shootings that come up. But we can focus on ISIS, and the fact that they're cutting heads off in some fucking sandy desert or someplace none of us will ever go to. This took place probably somewhere near a mall, a school, a Rotary Club, a town that you'd be happy to live in. You'd be able to tell your parents, look how good I'm doing. Look at my house now. Isn't everybody happy with me? Well, we were about to do a Scope Bro shout out here today. Chris, you want to get to the Scope Bro shout outs?
I would, but I have to make a phone call with Deep Tracks about GPS.
What kind of phone call are you going to make?
To talk about expanding the time of.
No, we have the exact time that we have.
For future, and also.
I'm not worried about future, and this is the show going on.
And I want to get their feedback before San Francisco, because they have it. I want to hear what they have to say. I have to go up to the office.
That doesn't even make sense.
Well, no, I got to talk to Brian from Deep Tracks.
The show is almost over, dude.
It seems a little unprofessional.
I have to make this phone call right now. I have to go upstairs to do it.
As manager to the executive producer, this seems like an unprofessional move on your part.
This isn't unprofessional. This is being professional.
I'll say this. I'll agree to this.
Yeah.
You can go do this.
Okay.
I just want Jam Band to go with you because you get lost easy, dude. And then it always costs me a pretty good price.
I am just going upstairs.
Maybe if you scoped it, I would trust you because then I could watch you.
Yeah.
And, I'd be able to tell you which way you're going wrong because you're stupid when it comes to directions.
Look, there's no directions here. I'm going to go down the hall, go up some stairs, go to our office. That's it.
Great. I'll have Kashmir walk with you.
I don't need Kashmir. I don't need Jam Band. I don't need Periscope.
This is going to cost me a pretty good prize. And I've given out 2, both from your stupidity today. No, one from my stupidity, the other from your stupidity.
I guarantee my stupidity will not cost us any more prizes.
But what did I say about delegating? Maybe this is the perfect type of responsibility for someone like Jam Band.
I'm not.
Cash.
I have to talk.
How about a monkey on a tree limb?
Really?
Because
anyone
anybody can do it.
No, I have to talk to Deep Tracks myself.
You get lost, and you get lost on Wednesdays. And it happens a lot.
Weird.
And then I need to ask the listeners to call our number. What's our number again?
844-ROCK-GOD.
But they're going to win an easy prize from us, a fantastic easy prize. A Wednesday Chris's Lost prize.
You know, I've never really thought about it, but you're right. I think it does always seem to kind of come up on the same.
He's Wednesday's child.
Full of woe.
I'm not going to get
And there's
lost.
an active shooter out there, and you end up all over the country, and I don't want anything to happen to you.
I'm going to be fine. I'm just going up to the office to make a phone call. That's it. This isn't... it ain't brain surgery. It ain't rocket science. I can handle this.
Yes, you can't handle anything.
Nothing.
I
I know
upstairs.
anyone could do it.
I'm walking up some stairs. Going to make a phone call. Going to come back. It's going to be great. It's going to be quick. It's going to be fun. It's going to be everything's going to be okay. Trust me. You can trust me. I don't need the interns. I don't need anyone. I don't need Periscope. I just got to go up those stairs, get on that phone, talk to Deep Tracks, and everything's going to be fantastic.
All right, call in and win. 844-ROCK-GOD.
No.
844-ROCK-GOD. Your time to pick up a pretty good prize from Chris Stanley. Let's just play the pretty good prize song right now anyway.
Why not?
It's the pretty good prize. It's the pretty good prize closet. We have pretty good prizes. It's the pretty good prize. It's the pretty good prize closet. We have good prizes.
In just seconds, Chris will call me and tell me what city he's lost in, and you'll be able to pick up a pretty good prize. Nobody gets lost like this guy. Nobody costs more prizes than this guy.
Yeah, it's weird. It's either from his mistakes, him getting lost.
Yeah.
I mean,
that
prize closet doesn't go on forever, you know.
No. That guy is having nerve problems. Chris.
Hello?
Yes, Chris.
Okay.
Go do your bet.
No, it's not a bit. I've lost. I can't find my way. Where am I? I don't know.
You should be somewhere between here and our office.
I'm not. I'm somewhere in the United States. I don't know where I am.
Let me guess. Lobby?
No, I'm not in the lobby. I'm outside of the state of New York. I'll give you that much.
You're probably just on the elevator.
I'm not yet. No,
Just wait for the doors to open.
Yeah,
It'll
you're
be a whole
fine.
new floor when you get up there.
The new system takes a while to get used to.
All right, look around, Chris. What do you see?
Okay, I'm somewhere in the middle of the country.
Somewhere in the middle of the country.
That narrows it down.
Yeah. Sean, you got a guess?
St. Louis.
St. Louis. Yeah,
I
you're
am
probably in
not
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
Oh, incorrect.
Chris, looking around, is there anything that you could tell us?
Okay, I'm standing outside the world's oldest public zoo.
Okay. How do you know that?
Isn't that Philly?
There's a plaque. There's a placard here.
Placard. Red shirt.
Yes, sir. How about Winnemucca, crown jewel of the high desert?
I would love that. Yeah,
is that
Chris,
it?
is that where you are?
Yeah, that's where I'm currently located. I think I might be able to see Mr. Stanley. Am I correct, sir?
Chris, is he correct?
No. Correct.
Oh,
Chris,
incorrect.
can you look around and find anything else out for the prize?
Okay, all right. Hey, I'm on the south side of the city. I'm on the south side.
Chris, look around and see if there's a black person that could help you.
Oh, I just running away to another block.
Steve,
Yeah.
what do you got? Yeah.
It's Chris. He's giving clues. I got to go with St. Augustine, Florida. I think that's pretty rock solid.
Are you on the south side of St. Augustine?
Yeah.
I am not on the south side of Augustine, no.
I have pretty old stuff
Incorrect.
there. All right, look around and get more, Chris.
All right, I see buildings with bleachers built on top of them.
Then you're not on the south side.
Mm-mm.
I'm moving around a lot.
That would be on the north side.
I'm still on the south side, and my old Comiskey Park.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Sure, that makes sense.
Cody, what do you got?
Is he in Chicago?
Chirac!
I'm in Chirac, baby!
Chirac open. Friday all over.
The Where Am I game show segment is presented by Wyndham Hotels and Resorts. There's a Wyndham waiting. Save up to 15% when you book 7 days in advance at Wyndham.com. Terms and conditions at Wyndham.com.
Oh, fantastic. That was Cody in Chicago. What does he win?
Cody in Chicago wins the Spike Lee joint signed DVD of 25th Hour, signed by Chirac director Spike Lee.
Wow!
Pretty good prize.
Pretty good prize. Pretty good prize.
Wow.
It's the pretty good prize. It's a pretty good prize closet.
We have
pretty good prizes. It's the pretty good prize. It's the pretty good prize closet. We have good prizes.
Joey, be prepared to send in Jamban and Kashmir to tell us exactly everything that's going on at this shooting.
Okay,
and what we can do about it.
All right.
Man, they aren't kidding, man. Southside Chicago's rough.
Yes, that's why you fucking ended up in Wrigleyville fucking seconds later. God, you're bad at everything, Chris. And I love you, but you're bad at everything. You couldn't keep that together. This says Chris is as good as actor as he is as smoker. Hashtag does not inhale.
I do inhale.
Hashtag lost in the halls is Pepper the active shooter. At Bennington Show. Hashtag Bennington.
I don't want that getting around.
He is an active shitter right now, is all we possibly know.
That's for sure. Actively.
Regular.
Ice-T's band Body Count has an album named Body Count with a song named Body Count, plus 2 other songs that have Body Count in the title.
Pretty good.
That was like his metal band or something, right?
Yeah, it was rock.
Yeah, it was rock meets rap.
Yeah.
Your favorite combination.
Way before Limp Bizkit. With a lot more cred, too.
Look at the number of cops lined up around those cars. Here's what the witness said. Guys came in and started shooting. I don't know what kind of building that is. I'm sending my news team of interns in here in just moments. We'll have an intern news team update. Intern news team update is a drop that I want because I only want to get news from interns.
I trust them the most. And they're so hungry to give the news.
And they deliver it so well. Still waiting on our intern news team to come in to the studio.
Intern news team. You're a team now. You better know about the news.
Why do you have to turn this into a negative, former executive producer?
He always does.
It's positive.
Yeah. You just did it. First of all, for somebody who demands excellence, you just did a shitty job with your thing after all this time. You didn't even have the correct clues. Hold on. This is a intern news team news update.
There's a SWAT team on the field right now, and it was near a few factories where people were sending in pictures. 20 to 25 fatalities. No,
What?
I mean 20 to 25 shot. 0 fatalities yet.
Wow. The shooting is occurring at the Inland Regional Center, and the suspects have heavy automatic weapons and body armor and all that good stuff.
Well, so they knew they were going to be in a shootout.
Yeah.
Now, what takes place at that place? What would they be mad about?
Well, this is like a manufacturing center for the area, so there's just lots of, like you said, lots of factories in the area.
But they went into this, I guess, building, an administrative building, where they started shooting. So my guess would be some kind of beef with the company. Didn't get something they wanted, didn't get work boots or whatever.
Yeah. Sure, but normally that type of thing is just one shooter. It's uncommon that you would have multiple shooters in like a work dispute kind of thing.
Can I tell you something, though? Internet. fucking everybody's got another fucking wacky buddy on the internet.
True.
Look at Jam Band and Kashmir. You wouldn't think that they would be in here together, but they'll come in and shoot this place up.
They're crazy.
Do me a favor, boys. You're not going to do
You
it?
shut me down on a high five.
Not going to do it, Kashmir?
I'm wearing white.
God, yeah, that's true.
Jesus. What?
Look at that
Stained
scarf
so
today,
easily.
how good he looks.
I'm not
right?
doing interactive news with you if you don't high five me.
Cold season.
You would never hurt anybody, would you?
Couldn't.
Say, he's so nice. You know who was asking about you when I was checking with him, Fez? He is so mad that he missed being able to have this kid as his intern slash prey. But here's what's going on with Fez. He's got, it's like sciatica, but it comes from his nerve stuff, so it's painful. But then I don't know if anyone's ever heard about this before. All the nerve endings on his skin feel like they're on hot. So he says it feels like his body is on fire. Did you ever hear of it?
Yeah, that's what Joni Mitchell has.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Joni.
The other poet. You love Joni Mitchell?
Oh, yeah.
Me too. Joni Mitchell fucking crushed so many alpha dudes in her love life that it's unbelievable. She left a trail of broken hearts and I believe broken dicks.
Yeah.
Throughout the 60s and 70s.
Well, I believe we coined the term cunsmith, and I think that she would have
She's a
been
cunsmith.
a perfect cunsmith.
Because not only is she maybe the best songwriter of her generation, but then some great songs were written about her.
Right.
Our House was written about her. That's fucking crazy.
It's nuts.
I can't get one song written about me, you know? And
I
then
would
fucking
love
Joni
it.
Mitchell gets Our House. I'd like to get something called Ron's House.
Doesn't seem fair.
Joe, get on it.
Pretty much all we have
Mine.
is Big Bad Bennington. That's pretty much the
Joe
only
writes
song
the
written about.
shittiest shit songs ever.
This one's going to be really good, though.
No, your stuff is terrible.
But remember Scope Bros? That was good.
Well, you know what Spike Lee said to you, right? Who's the cracker in a Reebok? I go, don't worry, Spike.
That's what he said.
I go, he's got shitty fucking taste in shoes. Remember, Spike Lee was so great that when he did that Michael Jordan commercial about must be the shoes.
Yeah.
That was, in my opinion, the first thing that started to take Michael Jordan from a great basketball player to like an icon of American, culture. Like people bringing up Kobe, a great basketball player, but never achieved anywhere near that iconic Michael Jordan thing. And he's got 5 rings. He's retiring this year.
It was rough because I think the media just exposed his personality too much, whereas no one really knew a lot about Jordan.
The rape thing fucked him up.
Yeah.
The rape accusation.
Always forget about that.
I was working in D.C. when that happened, and my general manager at the time was a basketball fan, and he had tickets to. He was a season tickets holder to the D.C. team, and he's like, "I don't know what to do." He goes, "My son is a huge Kobe fan, and I don't know how to even tell him about this." And I just said, "Tell him that your hero pulled off a woman's clothes and laid on top of her and put his penis in her vagina against her will." That would be it.
That's the best way to describe it.
Allegedly. After that, I said, allegedly.
And she said the ass, too.
She never said the ass.
No?
Sick fuck.
Oh.
Nope.
You're so
She never brought it up.
I thought she did.
Now they say maybe between 1 to 3 shooting suspects.
It's like Heat.
It sounds a lot like Heat, right?
Yeah.
Because of them being...
Body armor and
Yeah.
masks. Maybe maybe they're just trying to rob the place. Maybe it's just like a robbery gone wrong. If one of these companies is manufacturing something valuable.
Yeah, or just had money in a vault or something. That's a good point.
I think that's it.
But why would they shoot 20 people? A fucking no robbery goes like that.
No.
Reservoir Dogs didn't even fucking shoot 20.
Maybe they have-
How do you
Kill crazy.
laugh during the shooting part? I know you're a nervous laugher, but it's weird to hear someone laughing when we're talking about bodies.
Maybe they had like a Tom Sizemore type in there. Some loose cannon.
Maybe they had a Nick Cannon in there.
Oh, no.
He's in the
Chirac.
Chirac movie.
Wasn't it Michael Madsen who was the loose cannon?
It was Michael Madsen.
I was thinking of Heat.
You know what, Gail? You get a pretty good prize.
Yes!
It's the pretty good
Oh, God,
prize.
stop it, please. Please. Did you actually think Tom Sizemore was the Reservoir Dog?
Yeah, for a moment. I tried to cover. And I did not.
I have a dream of remaking the movie Reservoir Dogs. I know that seems like terrible, but I want to do it with actual dogs.
That would be so cute.
Yeah, and it's like he went around there just biting people, chomp, chomp, chomp. Fucking people would love it. First of all, you're gonna put a dog in like a little black suit with a fucking white shirt.
Yeah, you're already.
Tie. What do you think of the style of that?
I was
classic.
I don't totally love it because it's just like the black jacket kind of messes me up with like the white shirt and everything like that. I like it more if they like committed more to it.
So what would the commitment be?
Maybe like some like slicker pants, like a fun shoe.
I don't know. I don't know if the gangsters ever think of a fun shoe.
And that's why I'm not on their side.
Yeah, but they rocked a skinny tie. Do you like a skinny tie? Didn't they do a skinny tie?
Yeah, they did a very skinny tie in a time of fat ties too, by the way.
Yeah.
Which is always the smart thing to do.
Oh, yeah.
Just go the opposite of what the trend is at that time. And I remember, so it was Billy Joel, when the thin ties were out, he would come out in this big fat tie singing, basically soon to be karaoke songs, just because he's like, I'm not part of this. By the way, did you see Jerry Seinfeld is trying to be the Billy Joel of the Beacon Theater and do a once a month Beacon Theater,
like a residency
show?
Kind of thing?
Yeah.
The Billy Joel of comedy.
It fits him.
Yeah, he is
He's kind of the Billy Joel of comedy.
It does make sense. My coffee cup looks really small.
Well, he's large. People don't realize
He's 6'9".
What? Yeah, he's bigger than Raymond's brother. Oh boy. 25 dead, some people are saying.
Fatalities?
Yeah, I think this is all too early to say.
Kashmir was right.
Let's see this.
It's a center that serves the disabled and the needy.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, that makes this a lot worse.
Well, at least they already have the wheelchairs, I mean, if I was already in a wheelchair, I'd go ahead. Fuck it, I don't care. Well, I guess this happens in white neighborhoods. No one saw that coming after all their comments today, did they? Let's see. I'm trying to see this on my fucking computer. Shrek is going to see Joe List do comedy and is trying to get the Joe, Joe, Joe chant going from the Bennington show. Family Thanksgiving. It would be nice.
I would love that.
I like to see that follow him wherever he goes.
Every time he comes out to stage.
Joe List is a funny son of a bitch.
Love him.
Joe List is on my list.
I know he is. Because I'm not gonna lie, I peeked at your list. I just looked over you. I know we're not supposed to cheat, but when somebody said to make the list, I wanted mine to be good, and so I looked at yours.
I feel like I can't leave my list out anymore. Or my Joe list. Everybody will see that he's on my list.
That's it. We're locking up lists from now on.
Where, Chris?
There's lockers.
Really? Are you going to go find them, or will you get lost and cause this another
It's going to be like a Dave Chappelle situation. Everyone has to lock their list up.
You know what? I don't want anybody to Chappelle my phone. At all. I don't want my phone to get Chappelled. They can't find these fucking guys?
How big is this Inland Regional Center?
They're still inside, or they ran?
How do we know that? Yeah. I guess they're in there. Fucking holed up and ready to go. Now look at those dudes. And they're supposed to be cops in that army, right?
Yeah. They're just, yeah.
That's not military. That's just cops.
Yeah.
Great.
SWAT situation, looks like.
SWAT. SWAT the bad guys, what they have written on their fucking boots.
They get those for free?
Well, They get them half, but they get to pay it a little a month. You don't even notice. It comes right out of your check.
That's a pretty good deal, actually, you know?
Anything that I don't notice is fine with me.
Yeah, right? That's weird. Seeing all the cars just abandoned outside the place because people just booked.
See, I'd keep driving. I doubt if those are abandoned cars.
I'd be rifling through them.
That could be cops that came up or fucking drivers. Oh, maybe the cops pulled up and said, stop your cars in case somebody was in there.
Yeah.
That's probably what happened.
Yeah, they're apparently walking around the regional center on a street, Waterman Avenue. So that's why they're trying to clear out all the people from coming because
nightmare. I just want to say, United States of America, in 2016, I might be giving up on you.
I'm seeing reports that just 20 are wounded.
Oh, no.
Keeps going back and forth.
I don't think they have much chance, though. 20 are wounded. Not one killed. In 3 days, you'll forget it all. We're going to have to move the Scope Bros till tomorrow, Chris.
Okay.
This is the third day. But can you remember?
I will remember because I love my Scope Bros.
First thing tomorrow?
First thing tomorrow.
Who knows? We might have things to do first thing.
Second thing?
It'll happen tomorrow, is what I'm saying.
Somewhere between second and sixth thing. Put it on there. Not the top of the Joe list, but somewhere in the middle.
We're going to call every list our Joe list?
Mm-hmm.
Scope Bros is at the top of my Joe list.
Look, I made a Joe list of things to discuss later, so.
I've got a Joe list of things I need from the CVS.
I've got an intern action news update.
Great.
Okay, so emergency workers speaking on their radio frequencies cited witnesses saying there were 2 attackers with ski masks and vests who arrived in a dark-colored large SUV.
This asshole wears a vest everywhere he goes, Chris Stanley.
It's a good-looking vest,
You were
though.
missing during that time that the shooting started.
So true.
The vest is just for warmth. Not, for protection.
All right, we got anything we need to plug besides GPS? Saturday,
3 p.m. on Deep Tracks, Channel 27. That's 3 p.m. in the East, the premiere of GPS San Francisco.
Nothing else we need to plug? We cool?
I think we're good to go.
We cool.
Anything on the television screens tonight?
It's Wednesday? I'm all messed up when we get
Yeah, because we got the one day off. It's Wednesday. I think Fargo's on again, right?
Thank God.
Just watch, there's reruns of Fargo on. Just watch that.
I don't want to watch reruns. I want to see fresh.
I never
call
know.
every show Fargo. I just want to have the Fargo network. Straight from Fargo.
I call the TV the Fargo. Turn on the Fargo. What's on the Fargo?
When it's a Fargo night on TV, and I leave here and I go to the parking lot and I jump in my car, I just yell, "Cargo to Fargo," and hit the gas. Would you wondering how I was trying to get there? Yeah, I got there. Now the TV, the Christmas tree lighting, is that live TV tonight? Yeah, they do it live.
Yeah, it is performance.
So I'll be watching that. I'll be watching The Grinch, and then I'll be watching the SNL Christmas special. So, TV lighting.
Okay.
Grinch.
Yeah.
Special.
All right. Great.
I was telling me when Doug Benson's good. Did you just mumble it or not? I couldn't tell. That's it for us. God bless you all. And we'll see you back again in 1974.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!